Imagine a world so broken, its last survivor is begging for death. A terrifying light changed everything, unleashing powers that will tear your very body apart. He'll endure brutal transformations, horrifying spikes, and attacks no one thought possible. An ancient evil thought his kind wiped out, but this impossible fury ignites now. Let's dive straight in. Our hero, a young man with messy brown hair, looks out with raw despair. He's lived a truly awful life in this shitty world, and he's not afraid to say it. He reaches out, a dirty hand against a chaotic light, lamenting how the weak around him still cling to wealth and status. Which is why you find him now, a tiny figure lost in a desolate landscape of jagged structures and deep chasms. He's dying. He was too damn weak to survive this harsh reality. But how did the world get this way? 100 years ago, a terrifyingly bright beam of light struck the Earth, changing everything forever. That light wasn't just bright. It began to devour all life on the planet, leaving only destruction in its wake. The tiny blue planet, once the cradle of all things, teetered on the brink of oblivion. And soon, it turned into a massive, desolate desert, a harsh new world, born from cosmic catastrophe. POV, the universe said destroy everything, but then left the Wi-Fi on. If you're gonna destroy it, you should have destroyed everything. Our young man with messy brown hair, back in the present, echoes that sentiment. Why leave only the bugs alive? Suddenly, a dark-sleeved arm violently strikes his bandaged forearm. This isn't just talk, it's a physical confrontation. A wide, unsettling smile with sharp teeth appears, as the attacker feigns an apology. Oops. The muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos extends a hand, a mocking grin on his face. Sorry, he says, clearly not sorry. Our young man looks up with intense orange eyes, revealing his name in a single, defiant word, Zeon. The muscular man with blonde hair laughs, mocking Zeon's single name. You don't have multiple dads, do you? He sneers. The young man with messy brown hair glares, his orange eyes burning with an unspoken fury. He's been pushed too far, and you can feel the tension rising. POV, you're on a bus, and everyone around you has a main character backstory. The muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos tries to play friendly, but the young man with messy brown hair isn't buying it. Not one bit. Because on this bus, everyone's a criminal or a fugitive. So what did you get caught doing? The questions hit hard. Assault? Fraud? Theft? The young man with messy brown hair just listens, his eyes holding a dark secret. Suddenly, the young man with messy brown hair explodes into action. A lightning-fast punch connects, rattling the muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos. And just like that, the muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos is sent flying, legs flailing, as he's launched across the bus. Standing tall, the young man with messy brown hair looms over his downed opponent. You're wrong, dumbass. Want to know? His fist clenches, eyes wide with a chilling confession. It's murder. The air itself seems to freeze around him. When the boss says only the strong survive, and you realize you're just a side character. The young man with messy brown hair stands over the muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos, dismissively calling him a rat who got what he deserved. But the muscular man with blonde hair and tattoos isn't done. With his last breath, he reveals a name that changes everything. My older brother is Lee Jiryong. The young man with messy brown hair's eyes go wide with pure, unadulterated terror. Lee Jiryong. The name alone is enough to drain the color from his face. Because if the strong are considered people, then Awakeners like Lee Jiryong are the gods who stand above them all. A terrifying hierarchy you just broke. And now, a mere rat, like the young man with messy brown hair, has offended a god. His terror is palpable as the true weight of his actions sinks in. Rumors spread that Lee Jiryong was looking for me, and before I knew it, I had already crawled onto the bus heading to the mines. But the journey takes a terrifying turn as the young man is suddenly engulfed in shock and fear, blood splattering around him. POV, you just walked onto the wrong bus. This man just unlocked a new level of pain, and he's still taunting you. The impact rattles the young man, his head throbbing as confusion mixes with a sharp, piercing pain in his chest. Before he can even process it, a figure is violently flung through the air inside the bus, passengers recoiling in sheer terror. The young man screams, a guttural cry of agony ripped from his throat as the brutal assault continues, relentless and unforgiving. But the muscular man just grins, offering a twisted, almost brotherly sentiment before declaring that his victim has crossed an unforgivable line. Terror and frustration flood the young man's face. He fled one awakener, only to crash headfirst into another. This can't be happening. A chilling declaration echoes, promising a harsh lesson from Big Brother, a lesson you know won't be gentle. Suddenly, the muscular man's eyes glow red, crackling energy surrounding him. The terrifying truth is out. He's an awakener, and everyone on the bus knows it now. Well, this escalated quickly. From 0 to awakener on a bus in 30 seconds. That's a new personal record. Just as the realization hits, another violent impact rocks the bus, throwing passengers forward. What fresh hell is this? Amongst the chaos, a man with a shaved head, blood already staining his brow, erupts in a furious demand for answers. The bus is out of control. The reason for the chaos is grim. The driver is slumped over the wheel, the windshield a spiderweb of cracks. There's no one in control. The injured man curses, his frustration boiling over as he tries to make sense of the incapacitated driver and the unfolding disaster. The driver, barely conscious, mumbles a shocking truth. You weren't heading to the mine at all. You stare, blood splattered near your eye, trying to make sense of the words. What are you even saying? But there's no time to understand. The bus lurches, pulled into a monstrous, swirling sand vortex, its tooth-like maw ready to swallow you whole. POV, you showed up to the wrong fight. Looking back, it always felt like the same situation repeating itself, over and over. Like that time in Neo Soul, or when you faced an awakener, a powerful shadowy figure reaching out to crush you. Even being consumed by a sandworm, you reflect, is nothing special. Because in this shitty world, having things taken by the strong is just the way of life. It's just because you're weak. It's so cliché and predictable that it makes you yawn. You could always imagine the fantasy of being just a little bit stronger, not dying like this. You really said, not like this, not like this. Your eyes wide with terror, you fight to keep the desperation from overwhelming you, but you can't. A scream tears from your throat as the swirling sand consumes you, faster and faster. The sand rises, engulfing you almost completely. Your arms spread, you are swallowed whole, disappearing into the raging vortex. The young man's body ignites from within, glowing lines searing across his skin as a raw, painful energy erupts. It courses through every fiber, down to his very toes. This isn't just pain, it's a full-body metamorphosis. And within him, a dark vortex spins, a star-like core of power forming, surrounded by the chaos of his new reality. His eyes glow with fierce intensity as the swirling sand obeys his command. He just unleashed his sandblaster. POV, you're still on the first boss, but already planning your endgame build. I will survive. In this damned world, where everything has turned into sand, you feel the weight of it all. You make a solemn vow, a promise whispered to the desolate winds, I swear. You will survive, no matter what. I will survive. And standing before that colossal, terrifying massive sand creature, your resolve hardens. You will survive. You feel a powerful surge, a pulsing energy coursing through every cell, every vein. Is this it? Is this the fabled awakening? Your eyes widen with a mix of terror and understanding. The massive sand creature looms, a colossal maw of sand and teeth, ready to devour everything in its path. When the boss music starts, but the young man with messy brown hair is already in challenge accepted mode. All right, bring it on. His fist clenches, a silent promise to himself. This creature is just a test, and he's not backing down. But before you can even move, a powerful force slams into the young man with messy brown hair, throwing him violently backward. The young man is violently thrown backward, consumed by a swirling vortex of sand and pain as he cries out. He hits the ground, dazed, looking up, realizing something massive is right there. His eyes widen in pure terror, staring up at a towering opponent so impossibly huge, it defies all logic. From above, a powerful awakener observes the scene, deciding that the high ground is overrated and it's time to descend. He begins his descent, an imposing silhouette framed against a dark, spiky weapon, his gaze fixed firmly on the ground below. POV, you thought you were having a chill day, but the boss just dropped in. The sheer power of the blow leaves a massive crater in its wake, dark energy erupting skyward from the point of impact. The young man can only grit his teeth, bandaged arms glowing with swirling energy, utterly overwhelmed by the chaotic power unleashed. The Awakener effortlessly took down a Sandworm, but now struggles to free his massive, ornate sword from the ground. The young man is stunned, but a grinning girl with blue hair reveals the powerful Awakener is none other than their captain, Jang Yongbyum. She cackles, leaning into the still bewildered young man, proudly confirming Jang Yongbyum's status as their incredibly strong leader. But wait, the young man's arm is freezing. He suddenly realizes the blue-haired girl's presence and power are far more than they seem. Jang Yongbyum dismisses the Sandworm as easy, while Giselle, the blue-haired girl, laughs wildly, confirming she's the one freezing the young man's arm. When you're trying to be serious, but your squad mate is just vibing. Giselle, with her sharp-toothed grin and mischievous pose, is definitely enjoying this chaos a little too much. One moment you're trying to land a hit, the next you're soaring through debris, Giselle's grip still firm as you both tumble through the air. But Giselle? She's just having a blast, mid-air and laughing like she's got the biggest secret in the world to share with everyone. She leans in close, eyes wide with mischievous delight, building the tension for her grand reveal. You just know this isn't going to be good. Your face says it all, total confusion. What could she possibly be talking about that has her so hyped up? And then the bomb drops. You're not an Awakener? The words hit you harder than the ground, leaving you reeling in shock. As Giselle hangs upside down, still clutching your arm, she points out the glaring truth. No rank insignia. Your arm, meanwhile, is screaming. The pain's intense, but the insult? Even worse. No rank insignia? What kind of cruel joke is this? And why is everyone else so shocked? POV. You thought you were the main character, but the plot twist said newbie. Suddenly, the yelling from the vehicle cuts through the confusion. The man with glasses is not happy about the delay. Time is running out. Giselle, still holding your half-ripped arm, turns to the captain. So, what's the plan for the guy who definitely isn't an Awakener? Jang Yongbyum looks on, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. This wasn't part of the mission briefing. With a decisive order, Jang Yongbyum makes his call, and Giselle, ever the enthusiast, scoops you up like a sack of potatoes. No time to argue. The vehicle kicks up dust, speeding away across the barren landscape, leaving the chaos behind. Inside, the cramped ride is a symphony of shouting and Giselle's unbothered laughter. The man with glasses is still fuming. Tied up and jostled in the back, you can only sarcastically wonder how much longer this bumpy ride to wherever you're going will last. The young man with messy brown hair questions his new power. You see him tied, pondering why his rank insignia remains unseen by others, despite his newfound ability. A closer look reveals the faintest insignia on his arm. He observes its strange hue. Is it orange? No, it's something else entirely. The truth hits him. His rank insignia isn't just faint. It's the exact color of sand itself. A unique, almost invisible mark. This is where things get interesting. Rank insignia colors match Awakener types. Magic types, for example, glow a distinct blue. And if you're a martial type Awakener, your insignia blazes red. But what about the young man with messy brown hair's sand-colored mark? They say rare Awakeners exist, with types beyond the norm. And as sand swirls around his bound hand, the young man with messy brown hair realizes he's one of them. Despite this incredible, unique power, his rank insignia showed F rank, the absolute lowest grade. He can't help but question this discrepancy. POV, you just unlocked God-tier powers but still have to act like an F rank. With such immense potential, he resolves to hide his burgeoning power. He'll bide his time, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it. His ambition explodes. The entire world, not just the desert, will become his personal stage. You see him grasp a miniature Earth, glowing with sand. The group arrives at the Manhwa crystal mine. The young man with messy brown hair surveys the desolate landscape and the checkpoint, assessing his new surroundings. Suddenly, the green-haired man barks orders at the young man with messy brown hair, threatening to silence him if he doesn't comply. The tension rises. Yeah. The young man with messy brown hair mutters, being led through the desolate, industrial area by the green-haired man and the blue-haired girl. The green-haired man ponders the young man with messy brown hair survival. The blue-haired girl dismisses it as mere coincidence, but he remains unconvinced. His face tightens, his gaze sharp. The green-haired man firmly rejects the idea of coincidence, knowing there's something more to the young man with messy brown hair survival. POV, you're trying to figure out if you left the oven on. Now your gaze shifts to a dark, ominous hole in the rocky wall, a void that seems to swallow the light. What secrets does it hold? A lone figure walks towards a glowing industrial structure, but the thought lingers. You just know you'll see that kid again. A feeling in your gut says it's true. Suddenly, you're transported to a bustling night city, alive with people and glowing skyscrapers. A vibrant urban world unfolds before your eyes. But beneath the glittering surface, a lively underground community thrives. People gather, eating pizza amidst industrial structures, a hidden world within the mine. Down in the mine, a spiky-haired man confronts Eugene Jan, who's still tied up. He's yelling, a sparking gun in hand, demanding silence until the supervisor arrives. Back on the city streets, an angry, rugged man confronts Eugene Jan. He's pointing a finger, shouting accusations. Is Eugene Jan really about to abandon him? The angry, rugged man backs down, resigned, as Eugene Jan begins to walk away. The confrontation de-escalates, but you sense there's more to this uneasy truce. Eugene Jan's priorities: survive the apocalypse, then find a good snack. But wait, Eugene Jan suddenly turns back, approaching the angry, rugged man and reaching out. You can tell the rugged man is caught completely off guard. Amidst the bustling city, a propaganda poster declares, "With your labor, let's brightly illuminate Neo Soul." It's a bold statement, but what does it really mean for the people? Eugene Jan and the angry, rugged man continue their conversation, discussing the slogan's accuracy. They find it almost funny, but you sense a deeper, darker truth bubbling up. The conversation turns serious as Eugene Jan questions Neo Soul's energy source. Magic stones, right? You can feel the tension rising as they delve into the city's secrets. Eugene Jan reacts with utter confusion to the angry, rugged man's answer. "What are you talking about?" he asks, totally blindsided by the revelation that's about to drop. Then, the angry, rugged man points directly at Eugene Jan, dropping a bombshell. The true energy source for Neo Soul isn't mana crystals. It's you. The old man with white hair points directly at you, unleashing a harsh truth. You're just another rat, filling a head count. POV, you just met a boomer who knows too much. The old man with white hair then probes deeper, asking about the young man with messy brown hair's experience inside the Sandworm, wondering if the rumor has already spread. He raises his voice, warning the young man with messy brown hair this isn't a safe haven. He'll soon regret ever stepping foot here, but the young man insists he's only here to make money. The old man with white hair dismisses the young man's reasoning with a chilling smile, promising to show him something interesting instead. He gestures, revealing his trash, things he's collected over the years, hinting at their dark significance as the young man with messy brown hair looks on, confused. With a sinister grin, the old man with white hair declares that what he's showing is the final end for all who came here, and the future awaiting the young man. You see the desperate struggle. A man with short, spiky hair clings to a golden rope, terrified of the mine, selling everything to delay the inevitable. The grip tightens, but it's a futile effort. They even sell themselves, delaying the inevitable, but ultimately, it solves nothing. My bank account after impulse buys. The coins continue their descent, a relentless, tragic loss, until they tell themselves it's easier to just be swallowed by the mind. The old man with white hair, observing this inevitable descent, cynically muses that while some leave a name, trash leaves nothing behind but more trash, even in death. He then challenges the young man with messy brown hair directly. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of trash you'll leave behind. The young man grips his skewer, a determined fire in his eyes. But the old man with white hair pivots, revealing the exorbitant price of the meat, 10 sol. The young man with messy brown hair is stunned. Are you crazy? The old man with white hair explains that here, everything is precious. Even the skewer the young man with messy brown hair tossed aside is worth 9 sol, justifying the insane prices. You're new to this city, and this old man is clearly trying to fleece you. You don't have that kind of money, and you're not afraid to call him out. But before you can finish, the situation escalates. Knives and cleavers appear, all pointed right at you. You're outnumbered and in serious trouble. POV, you thought you could haggle. They brought knives. You're still saying no. The tension ratchets up, the air thick with menace. Your fear is palpable, a single bead of sweat tracing your temple as the silence screams. That sinister smile from the old man sends a chill down your spine. He asks if you ever wondered how he could run such an open business in a dangerous mine. And suddenly, you're isolated, vulnerable. A skewer lies forgotten as glowing red eyes emerge from the darkness, surrounding you with unseen predators. Now tied upside down, you desperately plead. The cost for shitty meat is outrageous, but the old man isn't interested in words, is he? The old man just smiles, hands clasped. He reassures you, claiming he isn't cold-hearted and there's another way to settle your debt. Your heart sinks. He knows. He knows about the glowing mana crystal hidden in your pouch, and he wants it as payment. Pure shock and terror flash in your eye. How could he possibly know about your most precious, secret possession? Turns out, private isn't really private when you're in a death trap. The old man's demand is clear, hand it over. He promises a fair appraisal, but his grin tells a different story. Panic sets in as a massive hand clamps down on your shoulder. You desperately try to negotiate, pleading for any other option. But negotiation is clearly off the table. A powerful blow sends someone flying, the impact reverberating through the air. A man screams, blood splattering, urging the old man to stop listening to your pleas and just bury you. The situation just got even worse. The air crackles, and a devastating force is unleashed, screaming its name, Sand Blaster. The impact is brutal, as the man with a bandana is caught in the blast, blood splattering against the force of the unseen strike. Horror twists faces as the group reacts to the gruesome aftermath, a dismembered limb a chilling testament to the attack's sheer power. POV, you showed up to the wrong fight. Absolute chaos erupts as combatants clash, a maelstrom of blows and falling figures. But then, the young man with messy brown hair's eyes glow in the darkness, a sudden shout ripping through the fray, "Hey! Wait, what just happened?" The man with a bandaged face checks on him, asking if he's all right, as if waking from a trance. A single, frustrated expletive escapes the young man with messy brown hair's lips, the nightmare's echo still fresh in his mind. Now the scene shifts. The old man with white hair and beard reveals the prize, the mana crystal the young man with messy brown hair craved. It's massive, glowing with an ethereal blue light. The young man with messy brown hair and onlookers gaze at the sheer size of it. The old man with white hair and beard strokes his beard, contemplating the crystal's impressive scale, a flicker of thought in his eyes. But the young man with messy brown hair is furious. The old man's valuation is an insult, and he's not about to back down. He's not angry, he's just disappointed. The young man with messy brown hair bares his teeth, threatening to turn the old man into worm food. Suddenly, the young man with messy brown hair is on the ground, perhaps from a struggle, looking vulnerable and defeated. His fist clenches, a dark resolve brewing. He could take the old man down right now, but a voice inside tells him, not yet. With a smirk, the young man with messy brown hair accepts the deal, but not without a subtle warning to the old man about his change. The old man's smile is sharp as he warns you about pickpockets and robbers, pointing out the muscular man right in front of you. For your first deal, the old man gestures generously, offering you a bonus item from his collection. Just one item, he says. You gaze upon a chaotic collection of forgotten odds and ends, hoping for a hidden gem. You dig through the scrap, a dump of forgotten things, muttering your disappointment. There must be something valuable in here. POV, you're trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The old man watches, amused by your relentless search, that obsession with never taking a loss. You keep sifting, convinced there's more to find. Then, your eyes widen. Among the trash, something catches your gaze, something unusual. The old man explains it was left by a passing caravan, hinting at its mysterious, forgotten origins. You inspect the strange, hourglass-like object. Nothing else here could possibly compare. You decide, this is the one. You claim the peculiar artifact, turning away from the scrap pile, ready to leave with your prize. As you walk away, the old man's voice stops you. He wants to know your name. Klexi, he shouts, identifying himself as Old Man Klexi, a booming farewell that echoes through the industrial night. Let's never cross paths again. Klexi's vibe. Nah, we're doing this again. You ponder the exchange, your eye reflecting a quiet contemplation as the city lights blur around you. The hourglass you just picked up now reveals its secret, a critical countdown. Only 10 minutes remain. You find our young man in the miner's quarters, taking a deep, calming breath. He's steeling himself, ready for whatever comes next. With eyes closed, he exhales slowly, then draws another deep breath, centering himself. This isn't just breathing, it's a ritual. Then, his eyes snap open, burning with a fierce yellow glow. He grips an hourglass, a single word echoing, move. But as he looks at the hourglass, seeing his glowing reflection, he realizes with a frustrated tch that it's not his awakening item. Frustration contorts his face. He's never seen it before, yet a profound sense of déjà vu washes over him, leaving him confused. He stares at the mysterious hourglass, its presence feeling strangely specific, as if it was created just for him. This hourglass is giving him new phone, who dis, vibes, but also, is this a personal attack? At the same time. Suddenly, the calm shatters. A muscular figure bursts in, leg raised in an aggressive stance, demanding to know if you're the new piece of shit. His face contorted in rage, the muscular man screams, demanding to know why you're not crawling your way to the mine. Bok Manhwa shouts, questioning if he needs to personally drag you to the mine. But Zeon stands calm, unfazed by the aggression. Zeon finally snaps back, asserting his name and pointing out they never even told him where to go. You can feel his boiling anger. Bok Manhwa's fury explodes. He launches a powerful kick, screaming, "Shut your fucking mouth," as he lunges at Zeon. The assault continues. Bok Manhwa unleashes a furious punch, yelling at Zeon for daring to talk back to him. Zeon is on the ground as Bok Manhwa looms over him, calling him an unawakened retard for daring to speak up. Bok Manhwa thinking he's the main character, but Zeon's "I just hit that glow-up button." Bok Manhwa, still fuming, barks an order, telling you to follow him. His temper hasn't cooled one bit. But Zeon, despite the beating, burns with a quiet rage. He vows to remember Bok Manhwa's name and promises he'll be the one to end him. Inside the dark, cavernous Sector 3 mine, Bok Manhwa wastes no time. He orders you to be equipped, forcing you into the unforgiving depths. The man in the hard hat lays out the grim terms. Equipment, food, everything gets deducted from your measly daily wages. You're trapped. Zeon just shakes his head, utterly frustrated. Even he could explain these basic, insulting instructions better than that. Bok Manhwa's fury explodes again, pickaxe in hand, threatening to teach you how to use it. And yes, your helmet? That's coming out of your pay too. POV, you just got assigned to this special project no one wants. Manhwa points you toward the infamous Tunnel 972, silencing the other workers' concerned protest with a shout. You accept your grim fate. The bearded man beside you explains your terrible luck. You arrived the very day Manhwa lost everything gambling, making his rage even worse. Zeon is shocked. A gambling den here, too? The bearded man confirms it, saying this mine is practically a mini neo-soul for illicit activities. As you descend in a caged elevator, the bearded man muses. With idiots like Manhwa in charge, business for the underground sure is booming. Zeon stares at the pickaxe in his hand. He sighs, not thrilled about this manual labor, clearly unaccustomed to such rough work. But the bearded man reassures you. In this tunnel, you won't get hurt. Not a single person has been injured here. And just like that, you arrive. This tunnel's got something's about to go down written all over it. Zeon just wants to confirm the mission. Mine crystals, bring them back. But the other man has a chilling reply. You won't be coming back. Zeon looks down into the abyss, a quiet apology on his lips, as if stepping into a fate he can't avoid. Then, a surprising thank you from Zeon. Who is he thanking, and for what? The bearded man's eyes widen in horror as Zeon's words sink in. For going into a place no one else wanted to enter. It means. Zeon screams, watching the scaffolding disappear into the darkness. They're leaving him. Alone. Here. Panic sets in. He's really leaving? Zeon's disbelief is chilling, the sweat on his face reflecting a terrifying reality. Rage ignites. Zeon grips his pickaxe, fury distorting his face. All this, just because some jerk was in a bad mood. POV, you just dropped your last brain cell. Zeon really said, oops, as his pickaxe takes a dive into the void. Come back, Zeon screams, desperately reaching for his plummeting pickaxe. His only hope, vanishing into the darkness below. But as Zeon scans the cavern, he realizes the true scale of his predicament. What is this place? His helmet light cuts through the gloom. It looks like a mining site, but abandoned. Why did everyone leave? The cold bites at Zeon, and a chilling question echoes in the vast emptiness. Where did they all go? Then, a glimmer of hope. His lost pickaxe, lying on the ground. Found it. Zeon steps forward, relieved the ground is tough and safe, or so he thinks. Suddenly, the ground beneath Zeon vanishes. He plunges into a glowing red vortex, screaming, I should have been more careful. POV, you just unlocked the falling into a portal achievement. New Ice Guy speedrun. That kid's gonna die soon. Zeon looks down, rain falling, as if the world couldn't care less. He's been abandoned, left to wonder what kind of life he ever wished for. Kicked and beaten, Zeon just wanted to eat. His simple wish to not go hungry met with brutal violence, again and again. Now, battered and bruised, Zeon clutches his head, haunted by unseen voices. Who did he cross? What fresh hell awaits him? As he plummets through jagged energy, the threats echo. Just make sure his head is still attached. His fall is far from over. Then, a jarring shift. Zeon wakes, bloodied, clutching his throbbing head. The pain is a stark reminder of his brutal reality. POV, your AC broke, but make it a dungeon. He touches the ground, a strange dark powder coating his fingers. Is this ash? A chilling realization begins to dawn. The pieces click into place. Zeon remembers his fall, the void. If I fell into a portal, that means. He knows where he is. He's in a dungeon. A desolate, fiery landscape stretches before him, burning hot beneath his feet. Hot. F***CK. This isn't a dream. This is real. Dungeons are death traps, places even Neo-Soul prepares for with extreme caution. He rubs his eyes, his hand coated in reddish-brown particles. Volcanic ash. It's like sand, but scorched by fire. His lungs can't take this. Zeon ties a makeshift mask, knowing one thing for sure. If there's an entrance, there has to be an exit. Zeon, ever the strategist, connects the dots. The dungeon's exit isn't just anywhere, it's gotta be. POV, your GPS says destination on the left, but it's a literal volcano. You know staying put means certain death. The heat, the ash, it's all against you. But with no beasts in sight, now's your chance to move. No time for detours. You're Zeon, and you're making a mad dash for it. Shortest route possible. And with a fierce resolve, Zeon takes off. Every step through this fiery landscape is a desperate gamble, a race against the inferno itself. Just as you think you've got a rhythm, a sudden eruption sends you tumbling. That was way too close, Zeon. Before you can even recover, a sharp projectile zips past your head. This isn't just a natural disaster anymore. Something is actively hunting you. The pain is immense, the exhaustion crushing, but you push through it all, pleading with the very air for a moment of respite. Even with blood on your face and clutching your side, your defiance burns brighter than the lava itself. You won't be scared off. My therapist told me to embrace the struggle. I think I'm doing it wrong. Anger only makes the heat worse. You force yourself to calm down, switching off that anger issues mode to conserve what little energy you have left. With a sweat-slicked, clenched fist, you make a silent, ironclad vow. You will survive this. Failure is not an option. Looking up at the treacherous path ahead, you resolve to claw your way out, to make it back, no matter the impossible odds. It's a daunting climb, but you break it down, just 4 more jumps. 4 more times pushing past your limits to reach the top. With eyes wide and unwavering, you reaffirm your resolve. You will make it. You cannot stop now. Zeon, clutching your side, you refuse to yield. This can't be how it ends. You'll move, you'll fight, you'll survive. Pain forgotten, you push forward, fist clenched. Never, you swear. You will never, ever give up. He really said, I'm built different. But then, the ground gives way. You're plunging headfirst into the gaping, fiery maw of a colossal rock creature. The massive entity screams, sharp energy spikes erupting from its form. Your impact has rattled its very core. Inside, the heat is unbearable. Zeon, you grip your vest, dark tendrils of volcanic ash swirling around you. This strange ability, these markings on your arm, they saved your life. But at what cost in this inferno? The sheer heat is relentless, more vicious than any monster. This environment is designed to break you. Your lungs burn, your mind clouds. You're suffocating, overwhelmed by the roasted air and choking ash. POV, you forgot to save your game. Just moments ago, you vowed to survive. Now, lying defeated, you lament a life unlived. It's not fair. You look up at the fiery ceiling, ready to make a final, desperate plea to Old Man Yama. Your hands still crackle with ash power, but your resolve is fading. Looks like Yama will have to settle for a different gift. With a guttural scream, you unleash your frustration, your pain, your very essence into the blistering inferno. A disembodied voice cuts through the chaos, its words echoing. You possess quite an amusing ability. Zeon reels, clutching his head. A voice. He's caught off guard by the sudden presence. His eyes wide, masked face tilted up, Zeon wonders, is it Old Man Yama? The mystery deepens. This guy's got a whole monologue about sand. Is he the new Sandman? Zeon is violently thrown, limbs flailing, screaming, like hell it is. He's clearly not amused. Then you see it, a sinister, smiling face. An old man descending. Some old geezer is. Zeon's thought trails off. Wild white hair and a menacing grin. The old man plummets, falling from the sky, straight towards Zeon. Zeon's eye is wide with pure terror, locked on the incoming threat. It's coming, he thinks, bracing for impact. Boom. A blinding vertical beam slams into the earth, erupting in a catastrophic explosion. The ground shatters. Debris flies, the ground rips apart. Zeon is violently hurled through the air by the sheer force of the blast. The impact crater glows with intense, fiery energy. What was once solid ground is now a landscape of glowing, broken fragments. POV, you just heard the loudest thud from your downstairs neighbor. Sweat beads on his face as Zeon's thoughts race. Wait, what about the monster? A new, even more pressing concern emerges. As Zeon lies injured, a new, cloaked figure, wielding a massive sword, descends from the smoke and fire. This new arrival is unlike anything Zeon has encountered before. He's different. Zeon's mind races. This isn't just another strong awakener, oh no. This new figure feels completely different. A whole new level of threat. And then you see him fully, standing amidst the fiery devastation. Long white hair, glowing red eyes, and a massive sword. Zeon's not wrong. This guy is on a whole other plane. But before you can even process the sheer power radiating from him, he speaks. A chilling, direct question that cuts through the smoke and fire. Zeon, sweat beading on his temple, feels the weight of that question. The cloaked figure isn't asking about the destruction, he wants to know your name. POV, you just wanted to chill, but the boss fight started without a save point. The number 3 hangs heavy in the air, a silent but deadly threat. The tension is palpable. He doesn't wait. The count continues, drawing Zeon closer to a terrifying unknown. Zeon's wide, terrified eye reflects the cloaked figure as the countdown reaches its chilling end. 1. What happens now? Time's up. The cloaked figure declares it with a menacing certainty, and Zeon can only stare up in pure, unadulterated fear. The figure fully reveals himself, a muscular man with a confident smirk. He says if you won't speak, then he can hear you now. What does that even mean? With a terrifying gaze, he simply says, die. Zeon, utterly panicked, pleads for his life, desperate to understand what's happening. Daoden smirks, calling Zeon a mute dumbass and reminding him of the question. He wants that name, and he wants it now. When you finally say your name, but it's not good enough for the final boss. Daoden, completely unfazed, insults Zeon's name. Zeon, internally, wonders what kind of name this old geezer has to be so judgmental. But before Zeon can even finish that thought, Daoden unleashes a devastating red energy slash, cutting through the air with terrifying force. Zeon clutches his ears, a wave of pain or distress washing over him as the cloaked figure's voice cuts through. He finally reveals his name, Daoden. You can see the frustration building in Zeon's eyes. Sweat beads on his brow as he demands answers, utterly confused by Daoden's bizarre actions. Zeon glares up at Daoden, his voice rising in disbelief. Why do you keep threatening me? He yells, exasperated by the cloaked figure's insults and behavior. Panic flashes in Zeon's wide, fanged eyes. He tries to understand, to rationalize, but Daoden just stares, seemingly unfazed by Zeon's growing distress. Daoden, now sitting calmly, explains your predicament. You got caught in the snare, he states, leaving Zeon to ponder what exactly that could mean. POV, your Wi-Fi just went out in the middle of a dungeon raid. This isn't just a glitch, it's a mana overload, and the dungeon is not handling it well. And as if a mana overload wasn't enough, Daoden reveals the snare also reels in living creatures. You're surrounded by these ominous, snake-like tendrils. Zeon's face contorts in pure rage. He curses someone named Manhwa, clearly blaming them for landing him in this terrifying, mana-overloaded predicament. But Daoden isn't done with his insults. He calls Zeon a dumbass again, prompting Zeon to throw his hands up, demanding he stop with the name-calling. Daoden sighs, clearly exasperated, and suddenly grabs Zeon's head. He's about to show you, not tell you, why you're a dumbass. Zeon's eye glows with a golden, intricate pattern. You're trying to protest, but Daoden instructs you to increase the mana's purity, focusing your perception. You're being told to perceive the world differently now. Imagine you're seeing with mana instead of your eyes, Daoden instructs, and feel the mana. Zeon gasps, his face contorted in shock and pain as he finally sees something. Daoden's grip tightens, confirming you've finally opened your eyes. That moment when you realize you've been talking smack to the final boss the whole time. This cloaked monster just unlocked a new level of stealth. You were snack time. You stand frozen, realizing this terrifying, invisible creature was right under your nose the entire time. If it weren't for Daoden, you would have been Monster Chow. Daoden slices through the chaos, a blur of power and crimson energy. You realize just how close you were to the brink, saved by a force you barely comprehend. Saved not once, but twice. Your expression tightens, a mix of gratitude and growing unease as you look at Daoden. What is this guy's deal? You stare at Daoden, his gaze piercing. A chill runs down your spine as the true depth of his power begins to sink in. Just how strong is he really? Frustration boils over. You demand answers, not just a name, but the truth behind Daoden's impossible strength. Who is this guy truly? Your anger spikes. Where are you exactly? You shout, demanding to know your surroundings, desperate for any sense of stability in this chaotic new reality. A dungeon. And now, Daoden claims it as his personal hunting ground. Your confusion deepens, but he's not done. He's about to reveal something even bigger. POV. You just unlocked a secret boss fight with a name you can barely pronounce. As he speaks, an intricate, glowing pattern emerges on Cryan's arm, radiating a mysterious power. It's a visual manifestation of the strength he just claimed. But the revelation hits you like a physical blow. You clutch your head, overwhelmed by a sudden, intense wave of pain and shock. What just happened? Still reeling, you look up, confused. What is Cryan doing? His actions make no sense, and a new kind of dread begins to creep in. Suddenly, fiery bird-like monsters erupt around you. Flames and dark energy swirl as you scream, utterly surrounded and terrified. This isn't good. Cryan just grins, a fierce, almost maniacal look in his glowing red eyes. He challenges you, holding his massive sword, seemingly unconcerned by your predicament. No help is coming. Cryan grips his sword, his words a cold declaration. You're on your own. Sink or swim, it's a trial by fire. Surrounded by the flaming beasts, you look up, disbelief etched on your face. That crazy old geezer just left you to fight for your life. Running from these guys feels like lagging in a high-ping server. The attack is swift, a blur of red energy slashing right at Zeon. He's caught in the chaos, barely dodging the relentless barrage. You feel Zeon's frustration as fiery energy engulfs him. These enemies are too fast, darting around him, making escape impossible. Zeon's left arm is ensnared by dark tendrils, a painful grip. He can't help but wonder why they're targeting his left side so relentlessly. And here's why. A fiery bird-like monster, a blur of red and orange, strikes with incredible speed and ferocity. The attacks land, bright streaks of energy tearing through the air. Zeon is overwhelmed, a primal cry of pain escaping him. His eyes wide with distress, Zeon realizes his current powers just aren't enough. His sand and vision can't keep up, leaving him desperate for a solution. Crouched amidst a storm of light, Zeon knows he can't stay like this. He's been saved before, and he won't let himself die uselessly now. POV. You're trying your best, but the boss is watching your performance review. Standing firm in the reflective water, Zeon resolves. He needs a new way to see, a method to track enemies too fast for his eyes. With a pained, determined expression, Zeon clenches his fist. He's ready to prove himself, to show them he's no idiot. Suddenly, a voice instructs Zeon to gather mana in his eyes, to focus deeply. This is the path forward. The voice pushes him further. Increase the purity of your mana. Zeon struggles, dark streaks running from his eyes as he concentrates. Then, the crucial command. Imagine seeing with mana, not just your eyes. Feel it, and Zeon's eye glows with a brilliant golden light. With this new sight, Zeon is told to feel the mana of the monsters themselves. He braces, seeing the shadowy forms around him with new clarity. His eyes now alight with a faint glow, Zeon looks up, determined. The reminder rings clear. See with mana, not your physical eyes. POV. Your teammate just pulled out the legendary weapon. But the attack hits hard. Zeon is thrown, engulfed in a furious blaze, struggling against overwhelming power. He braces himself, confronting a colossal fiery beast with glowing eyes and razor teeth. This is no ordinary monster. The monster roars, a maw of fire and fangs. And look up there. Daoden is just enjoying the chaos, midair. Daoden's grin is pure exhilaration. He unleashes a fiery punch, red energy crackling, absolutely loving this fight. He leaps, sword drawn, a whirlwind of red energy. Zeon is going all out, pushing the monster to its absolute limit. The monster's spiky hide glows, then fractures under the intense impact. Zeon's blows are tearing it apart. With one final, devastating strike, Zeon shatters the colossal beast. It explodes into fragments of fire and debris. He really said GG easy to a literal monster. He swings his sword through the lingering dust, already bored. Apparently, that monster wasn't even a warm-up. Standing victorious on the monster's corpse, Zeon sighs, lamenting the good old days when dungeons actually posed a challenge. Zeon, bruised and bandaged, can only stare in disbelief. He almost feels bad for the monsters almost. The desolate landscape is a testament to the destruction. Zeon is speechless, wondering how anyone could defeat such massive creatures so easily. With a pained grin, Zeon tries to reassure himself. Surely, after all that, there can't be any more monsters left, right? But his hopeful expression shatters. A new threat emerges, and Zeon's face contorts in a mix of shock and utter frustration. Zeon cries out, clutching his chest as an unseen force strikes him hard. Blood splatters, the impact taking his breath away. Zeon crumples, spitting blood as the blow sends him reeling. POV, you just got hit with the ultimate combo you didn't see coming. Zeon struggles to get up, coughing blood. Zeon stands over him, revealing the terrifying truth. That roar belongs to the boss. Zeon explains that every dungeon harbors a final boss, the very source of its power, and the reason he came here. And then it appears. A colossal, scaly monstrosity, radiating blue energy amidst a fiery, desolate landscape. This is the boss. Zeon's eyes go wide with pure terror. Covered in dirt and blood, he can barely stammer out a word, utterly overwhelmed by the sight. But Zeon, far from terrified, grins. He knew it was coming, welcoming the boss's arrival with chilling confidence. The monstrous figure roars, its form crackling with fire and blue energy. This isn't just a boss, it's a crimson drake. Zeon is stunned, questioning if it's a dragon. Zeon clarifies, a crimson drake, and at least a B-rank monster. B-rank at least. Zeon realizes the implications as a glowing orb of energy pulses. My face when the boss actually has a second health bar. The boss's lower body is engulfed in intense flames and blue energy. That glowing orb? It's a force field. Zeon questions Zeon's knowledge of force fields. Zeon explains he only knows B-rank monsters and above possess unique traits, just like Awakener humans. Just like Awakener insignias, the boss's force field color signals its traits. A red force field, for example, denotes martial-type abilities. But what about this massive, glowing blue energy field we see now? A blue force field means something entirely different. The blue force field dominates the landscape, a colossal crystalline structure rising from an orange fissure. Zeon watches, intrigued by its power. Zeon screams, pure terror twisting his face. This isn't just a monster, it's a magic type, an overwhelming force that shatters everything he thought he knew. But then, a flash. Zeon's massive red sword slices through the colossal, icy structure, shattering it into a million fragments. POV, you just realized the tutorial level was actually the final boss fight. His common sense, his years of experience, all of it evaporates in this moment of raw, unadulterated fear. He's adrift in chaos, completely lost. Because standing before that monstrous boss, with its glowing maw of energy, even Zeon feels like a fleeting shadow. It's all meaningless. The boss unleashes a devastating energy blast, a torrent of destructive power. It erupts, engulfing Zeon in its horrifying, all-consuming force. The boss continues its relentless assault, blue energy crackling from its maw, a pure embodiment of raw, destructive power. Its scaly form pulses with malevolent energy, a terrifying spectacle of power. This monster isn't just attacking, it's unleashing pure chaos. Zeon is completely swallowed by the boss's brutal energy blast. Can anyone survive such an overwhelming, direct hit? But through the inferno, Zeon's defiant laugh rings out. He stares down the boss, a wild glint in his glowing red eyes. He really said, "I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me." Zeon surges forward, a whirlwind of power and debris, his cloak a crimson wave. He's not finished. He's just getting started, because today is the day of the boss's funeral. A chilling declaration that echoes through the shattered landscape, sealing its fate. But Zeon, caught in the crossfire, hears that declaration and interprets it for himself. He's screaming, absolutely convinced his own funeral is today. As the boss rages behind him, Zeon desperately flees, yelling at everyone to just talk it out. Can this poor guy catch a break? You're thrown back, pain lashing across your face as an unseen force slams into you. The impact rattles your bones, but defiance burns in your eyes. Zeon unleashes a primal scream, engulfed in a massive burst of raw, spiky energy. He's a storm of power, arms spread wide, pushing the very limits of this fight. The ground around you shatters, cracks spreading like spiderwebs. These aren't direct hits, just the shockwaves of their battle, yet the destruction is immense. This man just unlocked a new level of, "I'm having fun," that's terrifying. The monstrous Crimson Drake roars back, a terrifying symphony of red and black energy. It's not just a monster, it's a force of nature, unleashing pure destructive power. Zeon's eyes widen in sheer terror, the radiating energy of the monster reflecting in them. This battle is far beyond anything he's ever witnessed. And just like that, Zeon is violently struck again, sent flying backwards through the chaotic, fiery air. He's caught in the crossfire, utterly helpless. The Crimson Drake unleashes another devastating attack, blue energy crackling around its jaws. Below, Zeon continues to plummet, the ground rushing up fast. But Zeon just grins, taunting the mighty beast. "Is that all you've got, Drake?" he shouts, clearly enjoying every brutal moment of this fight. The Crimson Drake recoils, hit by an unseen force, bowing its massive head. Zeon's words echo. To think the boss of a dungeon would keep bowing its head to me. It's a humiliating sight for such a powerful creature. Zeon continues to mock, declaring that the title of boss must be weeping. When you thought you were winning, but the boss has a second health bar. The Crimson Drake refuses to yield, retaliating with a powerful, glowing blue energy beam from its maw. This fight is far from over. But then a new voice cuts through the chaos, a chilling question that hangs heavy in the air. "Are you looking for me?" The Crimson Drake looks up, its massive mouth open, blue energy swirling within. The sudden interruption has clearly caught its attention, and something new is about to unfold. Zeon dives, his massive sword a blazing red arc, clashing head-on with the monstrous boss. The sheer force of impact sends crimson energy streaking across the panel. "I scoured the desert for a year, to catch you, with your heart, to temper crying. Now die." POV. You thought you were the final boss, but the final boss just walked in. Zeon stands, his sword radiating a fierce red glow, the battle far from over as he prepares for the next devastating strike. "Kuhu, you've grown stronger," crying. Talking to his sword. Was he really just a crazy old geezer? But to actually take down the Drake in the end. He's a crazy, overpowered old geezer. "Oh, you Claude, you somehow managed to survive?" "Yeah, well, I almost died, but..." Remember that moment? The young man is falling through the chaos, battered but somehow still in one piece, arms outstretched. My brain trying to remember where I left my keys. Huff, huff, damn it, I survived this too. I'm really resilient, aren't I? Getting hit constantly by shockwaves from some crazy old geezer improved my reflexes. That's how I lived. Kuhu, not bad for a Claude. The dungeon collapses around you, debris raining down. Zeon warns there's no time to lose. But why is he still holding you so tight? You look up, confused. Seriously, why are you still being held? Is this some new escape strategy? Or something more personal? Zeon's face twists into a terrifying, maniacal grin. That laugh. It's not the sound of a helpful ally, but a sinister prelude to disaster. And just like that, you're hurled headfirst into a dark, swirling vortex. Daoden shouts his farewell, leaving you to plummet into the unknown. You scream, flailing as you fall through the void. Betrayal burns hotter than any dungeon fire. He really just threw you away. POV. You thought you were done with the dungeon, but the dungeon wasn't done with you. You land hard, scrambling to your knees. Wait, where are you now? Daoden calmly explains you're outside the dungeon, thanks to the rift. But he cuts you off. Turns out, Daoden needs your sand manipulation ability, but you're just too weak. He demands you listen up. So he offers you a choice. A pivotal moment, right here, right now, that will define your future. Your first option, head towards Neo Soul, back to your old, familiar life, away from all this chaos. Sounds tempting, doesn't it? Or you can follow him. Become a better Claude than you are now. A path to strength, but one shrouded in mystery and danger. You ask the obvious question, how long would you have to follow him? This isn't a weekend trip, is it? Daoden's answer is chillingly vague. Months, years, even decades. He doesn't know when it'll end, if ever. When the Minter offers you a quest with no clear end date. My dude, is this a side quest or my whole life? So what will it be? Will you choose the comfort of your familiar life, leaving this wild journey behind? Daoden stares you down, offering a choice that's barely a choice at all. Will you gamble with a 99% chance of death? He demands your decision, now. But you just grin, a wide, unsettling smile spreading across your face. A choice? You find the very idea hilarious, almost mocking his offer. As you sarcastically question if he really expects you to trade comfort for a scorching desert walk with him. Daoden doesn't even flinch. He just turns, a swirl of red energy following, and walks away into the vast, empty desert. A stern gaze over his shoulder confirms it. That's right, he says, expecting you to follow. You look away, a thoughtful, almost resigned expression settling on your face. Then there's nothing more to talk about, you declare. POV, you just signed up for a character development arc, good luck. You explain your motives, a serious look replacing your grin. You have to pay people back, but you're too weak for revenge, yet. Then that unsettling grin returns, as you defiantly include Daoden himself in your future revenge list. Watch out, old geezer. You acknowledge his overwhelming strength, admitting you don't expect to meet anyone stronger. He's a means to an end. Despite Daoden's ominous grin, your eyes glow with determination. You are certain, following him will make you stronger than anyone. Daoden's grin widens, a chilling promise in his eyes. He warns that this certainty of yours will lead to regret. Follow me, you idiot, he shouts, already walking. We have a long way to go. You protest the insult, scrambling to catch up. But the desert is relentless. You're already screaming, sweat pouring, begging him to slow down. My legs after walking to the fridge for the 5th time today. The scorching desert sun beats down, and the young man, utterly exhausted, begs Daoden for a moment's rest, but his mentor keeps walking. You scream in frustration, covering your ears, as Daoden's silent, unyielding pace pushes you to your absolute limit. Why won't you say anything? Sweat drips into your eye, blurring the already shimmering heat haze. The temperature must be pushing 50 degrees, making every step a grueling challenge. You collapse, panting, the desert an impossible, endless expanse. You're at your wit's end, wondering how you're supposed to keep going. But Daoden, ever the taskmaster, dismisses your struggles. Fool, he scoffs, you can't even use 1% of your power. You explode, screaming back, easy for you to say? I just awakened my powers the other day. How can he expect so much so fast? Daoden's stern gaze cuts through your excuses. And what does that matter? He asks, his voice unwavering, refusing to acknowledge your complaints. Daoden just hit you with the skill issue grin. You're only an F rank, after all, not a high-ranking Awakener like him. You snap, grabbing Daoden by the collar, furious that he keeps spouting such idiotic nonsense, while he just grins back, unfazed. But Daoden isn't done. He challenges your very concept of rank. What does it matter if you're F rank or S rank, he roars. You insist that some people are just born blessed, natural S ranks, while others like you are left to struggle with what you've got. Daodin's glowing red eyes burn as he shouts, "So what?" He demands to know if you'll just give up, reminding you that others see you as blessed enough. His words echo in your mind. Blessed. You look at Daodin, the weight of his harsh truth slowly sinking in. He sighs, telling you to stop whining and start thinking. What's the point of having all your limbs, he says, when your brain is an idiot? The brutal honesty of his words stings, forcing you to confront the real issue. It's not the rank, it's your ability, or lack thereof, right now. Daodin's coaching style, tough love edition. My therapist would have a field day. He's not just talking. Daodin is emphasizing his point with a painful grip, making sure you feel every word. His words are a harsh threat. Figure it out, or else. The pressure builds as Daodin stands over you, demanding growth. The pain is undeniable, forcing you to acknowledge Daodin's brutal lesson. You just need him to ease up already. Finally free, you assess your power, a 5-meter radius of sand control. It's limited, but a plan starts to form. The desert's loose sand makes every step a struggle. It's clear, moving efficiently here is going to be a real challenge. But then, an idea sparks. What if you use your magic not just to move sand, but to stabilize it beneath your feet? And just like that, the desert becomes your highway. You're running freely, feet no longer sinking, with Daodin watching from afar. When the figure it out yourself advice actually works. Take that, Daodin. Daodin observes your clever adaptation, a subtle nod of approval for figuring out that useful trick on your own. A rare smile graces Daodin's face as he acknowledges your flexible mind. He sees the next challenge ahead, but first, a moment of nostalgia. But the joy of free movement is short-lived. Your momentum breaks as the constant mana drain starts to take its toll, and you stumble. Daodin calmly points out the obvious, the mana burden. Youthful exuberance can only carry you so far before the cost catches up. He wasn't kidding. Your body screams under the weight of mana exhaustion, a harsh reminder that every power has its price. But despite the exhaustion, your pride swells. You excitedly demonstrate your sandwalking trick to Daodin, even throwing in a little jab. You're back to your old tricks, sticking out your tongue at Daodin. Comfortably now, old man, you boast, clearly pushing his patience. POV, you just got humbled by the wise old man. He really said, sit down, be humble. But now, Daodin is frantically trying to revive you. Breathe, breathe, he urges, his concern cutting through the desert air. You slowly come to, eyes fluttering open, disoriented and confused. Where am I? You murmur, the world still fuzzy. Daodin wastes no time. You awake, dumbass, he grumbles, reminding you he's got better things to do than babysit your unconscious self. And you're quick to fire back internally. It's not like I was resting at a resort, you think, frustrated by the pain of your numerous wounds. Suddenly, a piece of dry jerky is thrown your way. You eye it suspiciously, a question forming on your lips. Eat while you listen, Daodin commands, settling in. He's about to tell you a story from his own youth, a tale from a different time. He reflects on a bygone era where protecting the weak was noble, a stark contrast to the harsh realities of the changed world you now inhabit. You're trying to process the info, but your brain is still in respawn mode. This world really said, no participation trophies. Daodin's voice cuts through your thoughts, a blunt challenge. If you want to die, lie there. If not, get up on your own 2 feet, dumbass. His words hit home. You sit up, swallowing the jerky and his harsh truth. All right, I get it. You say, a new resolve in your eyes. You ponder the jerky, the moment, the taste. You begin, a flicker of understanding crossing your face. Daodin observes you, a knowing look on his face. You really have lived a long time, he notes, recognizing the depth of your survival instincts. He sees how you're eating the jerky, not chewing, but softening it with saliva. In this parched desert, it's the only way to truly survive. You're munching on jerky, realizing the desert heat makes it tough. If only someone had mentioned softening it with saliva before you started chewing. It dawns on you, Daodin isn't just giving you food, he's teaching you how to survive. It's less a handout, more a survival lesson. You call out for more jerky, because who doesn't love a midnight snack? You're basically a desert foodie right now. But your request is met with a sharp, "Shut your trap," from Deoden, shattering the peaceful desert night. Achoo! The desert night hits you with a sudden chill. You completely forgot how brutal the temperature drops can be out here. On top of the cold, Deoden's been chatting with his sword all night. Sleep? What's sleep when you have a mystic blade to confide in? Your throat is parched. You desperately wonder if there's any water around, just a drop, to quench this intense desert thirst. But then you see Deoden, intensely squeezing something in his hands, a look of focused determination on his face. Wait, what? He had water this whole time and kept it a secret. You stare in disbelief, feeling a surge of betrayal. Then it clicks. Deoden was squeezing dew from his clothes. That's why he'd spread them out all night. A desert survival hack. You swear revenge on Deoden for his antics. You're basically plotting your villain origin story right now. But Deoden asks if you can feel something. Feel what? You look up, a strange sensation prickling your skin. A low rumble, a tremor through the ground. These vibrations, they're growing stronger, closer, filling you with unease. This isn't just one or two small disturbances. You realize the sheer scale of whatever is approaching, a truly massive threat. And then you see them, a pack of monstrous bighorn hyenas, their glowing red eyes fixing on you and Deoden. You're surrounded. Deoden's voice cuts through the snarls, pointing out the hyena's unusual nocturnal nature and challenging you to survive. As the monster snarls, Deoden's words echo, twisting the knife. Or do you need my help again? No time to answer. The hyenas lunge, a snarling, drooling wave of teeth and claws crashing down on you. You flash a menacing grin, pointing right back at the incoming horde. POV, you showed up to the wrong fight, but you're built different. Surrounded on all sides, the young man stands his ground, screaming defiance at the overwhelming numbers. With a frustrated tisk, you channel raw energy, preparing to unleash a torrent of power against the relentless beasts. You explode into motion, a whirlwind of fists and feet, kicking one of the monstrous hyenas clean off its feet. But there are too many. You scream in pure frustration, a primal roar against the unending tide of snarling enemies. Gasping, you look up, realizing the sheer scale of the horde. How many more can there possibly be before your mana runs dry? Injured and exhausted, you clutch your chest, but determination flares in your eyes. A plan. You need a plan to survive this. Raw power isn't enough. Facing the endless horde, you realize you need efficient attacks and smart mana management to outlast them. You focus, golden energy swirling around your hand. Brain cell count. 1. It's working overtime trying to find a solution. Suddenly, an attack. You snarl, punching the offending hyena with furious strength. I'm trying to think here. Blood streams from your arm, a new ventilation hole from the crazy bastard. The injuries are starting to pile up. You take a moment to assess the damage, blood dripping from your arm. Ventilation holes, you think, a grim reminder of the relentless fight. But there's no time to dwell. The monstrous hyena-like creatures surge forward again, a tide of glowing red eyes and gnashing teeth, forcing you to focus. You turn to face them, a fierce resolve hardening your gaze. If they want holes, you'll give them plenty, just not in you. A manic grin splits your face, your eyes gleaming. Do you really need to be this destructive, blowing off every head? Maybe you do. You declare with grim conviction, the method doesn't matter. Whether their heads explode or just get a clean hole punched through, dead is dead. POV, you're trying to conserve mana, but the game keeps throwing boss waves at you. This is fine. You move, a blur of calculated efficiency, every attack precise. Minimum lethality, minimum mana. That's the only way to survive this relentless onslaught. A smirk plays on your lips, golden energy swirling around your arm. That old geezer might take them down slowly, but you've got a better way. One of the creatures snarls, its red eyes burning, but you just mock it. Is that all it's got? Does that even tickle? You lash out, a furious insult escaping your lips. You damn mutt. The impact sends the creature reeling, a blur of bone and fury. But then, a new presence cuts through the chaos. Zeon, cloaked and menacing, raises his weapon, declaring his intent to wipe out every biting dog. His grin is wide, manic, and utterly terrifying. Those glowing red eyes promise nothing but absolute destruction as he surveys the scene. The young man's eyes go wide with panic. Oh no, not again, he thinks. He's about to drop the ultimate on us. Zeon's roar rips through the air. I'll wipe you all out. His voice is pure, unadulterated rage, promising devastation to all in his path. And just like that, you're caught in the maelstrom. Red energy lines streak past as you're thrown amidst the creatures, the world exploding around you. The young man can't believe his eyes. The sheer power unleashed by the older man is terrifying. What exactly just happened here? You're reeling, wondering if the older man is even human. This kind of power, without a skill? Better watch your step, because one wrong move could be your last. Suddenly, a massive blast of white energy engulfs the hyenas, tearing through them with brutal force. Their snarls turn to screams as the attack hits. Even the formidable cloaked figure is caught off guard, eyes wide with shock. This isn't just energy, it's a force field, and it's hitting hard. The hyenas are ripped apart, obliterated by the sheer intensity of the force field. The cloaked figure realizes their opponent is far more powerful than expected. POV, you just dropped into the wrong server. This is not where you wanted to be. But wait, the young man screams a desperate warning, reaching out as if to somehow protect the older man from the overwhelming attack. Unbelievable. The cloaked figure is not just unfazed, they're enjoying it, calling this devastating attack a nice and tingly massage for stiff shoulders. That satisfied expression quickly turns into a chilling, menacing grin. With glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, the cloaked figure declares the massage is over and it's time to die. Suddenly, the scene shifts. The young man is smiling, deciding it's better for his mental health to just ignore the monster, and asks the older man if they can leave. The older man, with a slight smirk, acknowledges the young man's survival with a casual, "Oh, you're alive, dumbass." And then, an unexpected question. He's holding a massive hyena horn, explaining its lightning attribute and potential as a weapon. Then, without warning, he throws it right at you. Catch. When your grandpa says catch, and throws a whole new side quest at you. Standing over a defeated hyena, the older man lays down the law. No more free handouts. From now on, you're on your own for food. The older man explains the hyena's flank meat is safe, but its muscles are highly toxic. You've got to know your desert survival, right? But before you can even process that, the older man snaps you back to reality. The sun's coming up, and you need to get moving. You finally get to enjoy that hard-earned meal, humming a happy tune. A rare moment of peace in this harsh, desolate landscape. And with a full belly, you can't resist a little jab at the older man, wondering if he's getting too old for this desert life. Suddenly, an attack. But you're quick, dodging with a grin. I dodged it this time. You boast, feeling pretty good about yourself. The older man is not amused. He sighs, calling you a crazy bastard for showing off after gaining just one shitty skill. POV, you thought you were hot stuff. The older man said, "Nah, fam. Face first into the sand you go." You're spitting sand, complaining about the older man's roughhousing, but he just stares, unmoving, completely unfazed by your plight. But then, you sense something, a strange feeling. Moisture? Could it be? You question if you're just imagining things from thirst. But the older man is looking in the exact same direction. That can only mean one thing. Your senses aren't playing tricks on you. And then, there it is. A miracle in the desert. You both spotted an oasis. The impossible made real. You can't believe your eyes. It's real. The thing you'd only heard rumors about. A shimmering pool of life in the barren wasteland. Without a second thought, you bolt towards it, kicking up sand, yelling, "Water! It's water! Pure, unadulterated joy." The older man watches you bolt. His face says, "This man needs to chill." But also same. The young man with brown hair, finally free from the desert's grip, races towards the oasis, pure relief washing over him. He's made it. You plunge into the cool water, feeling the brutal desert heat finally dissipate. Every pore soaks in this life-giving relief. The coolness seeps into your very bones, a sensation you haven't felt in days. It's pure bliss. But just as happiness washes over you, something catches your eye. A sudden, unexpected flicker beneath the surface. A blinding, warm light emanates from the depths, captivating you. What could this mysterious glow be? Yet, this beautiful light brings with it a strange lethargy. You feel your senses dulling, your body growing heavy. Suddenly, a frantic shout pierces through your haze. The older man's voice, desperate, tries to pull you back from whatever is happening. POV, you just wanted a sip of water, but the water wanted a sip of you. Its monstrous face, a nightmare of glowing eyes and razor teeth, is revealed as its sheer power throws the young man with brown hair and the older man backward. With the young man with brown hair incapacitated, the older man bravely steps forward, his weapon ready. He's facing this horror head-on. The massive sand creature thrashes violently, sending colossal waves and spray everywhere. This thing is pure, untamed chaos. Amidst the chaos, the young man with brown hair looks up, awestruck. The older man's battle creates a beautiful, unexpected phenomenon above you, a rainbow. The older man explains this sand angler uses its glowing lure to trap prey, just like it tried to do with the young man with brown hair. The realization hits you. You were almost its next meal. The older man's grim determination is palpable. There's no time to dwell. With a fierce roar, the older man unleashes a powerful strike, launching his attack. POV, you just got caught slacking by the boss. But just as you think it's over, the older man turns, dropping a single, chilling command. Skin it. You're still processing the scolding when his command hits. Skin it. A C-rank monster? You can't help but question the order. But the older man has a plan. That sand angler's belly skin? Perfect for a robe. He explains its properties, then asks if you need one. Hold up. Not for him. You're supposed to make it for yourself. The older man's exasperation hits new heights, baffled by your intelligence. You can only offer an awkward, blood-splattered smile and a meek apology as the older man wonders if your brain has been petrified. As if the scolding wasn't enough, you notice something else. The massive sand angler itself has changed. Quite a bit, actually. Standing beside the colossal, defeated sand angler, the older man points out its resemblance to Earth's ancient fish. This ain't Nemo, that's for sure. With dirt smudged on your face, you admit it. This truly is your first encounter with anything resembling a fish. As you lean over the creature, the older man can't resist teasing. Are you just scratching its back? You insist you can handle it. Standing before the enormous, spiky body, you quickly realize this task is far tougher than anticipated. Time for a new approach. You grit your teeth, focusing intently. Energy emanates from your hands as you infuse your blade with mana, boosting its cutting power. Now, to get resourceful, you meticulously whittle down one of the sand angler's fins, shaping it into a needle-thin tool for crafting. And for thread, you've got an ingenious plan. Use the sand angler's own tough tendons, carved directly from its flesh, to finish the job. The older man isn't holding back, calling the young man an idiot for turning their latest catch into, well, trash. When you failed 8 times but your mentor says, "We go again." And after 8 agonizing failures, the young man finally screams in triumph. He's done it. The young man, proud of his creation, jokes about selling it, but the older man quickly shuts down that idea. Now the young man is panicking, desperately trying to protect his robe from the older man, who's holding something big and round. The older man simply shoves a mysterious, lumpy sack towards the young man. "Eat this," he commands, leaving him bewildered. It's a sand angler's gallbladder, a rare medicine, and the older man insists the young man eat every single last bit. Then comes the ultimate incentive. If you don't eat it, you die. The older man grins, leaving no room for negotiation. With a grimace and a sarcastic wish for the older man's arm to fall off, the young man reluctantly agrees to take the medicine. POV, you're eating your veggies as a kid, but your dad is a psycho. But wait, As he holds the lumpy sack, the young man looks confused. What is this thing he's eating? He keeps eating, but it feels like he's consuming clouds. No matter how much he eats, he just doesn't feel full. As he's still trying to finish, the older man's voice cuts in with an ominous announcement. The older man grins, holding a flaming stick with a piece of the sack impaled on it. He's about to set the young man on fire. Fiery energy erupts from the young man's chest. He's burning from the inside out, and he has no idea what's happening. You're screaming, engulfed in fiery pain, your body writhing as an unknown power surges through you. The agony intensifies, searing past mere heat as you clutch your throat, mana raging out of control and threatening to consume you. POV, your mana bar is redlining, and the boss fight just started. But the old man just smirks, watching your torment. His only advice: endure it, dumbass. He explains this desolate world, where even massive structures ride the quicksand, soon to vanish as if they were never there. Even in these murky depths, sand anglers are born anew, continuing the endless cycle of life and return. Your pain screams are just background noise to him, as he dismisses your suffering as mere crappy sentiments. The agony becomes unbearable, and you beg, plead for salvation, for anyone to just save you from this torment. But the old man just wants to sleep, telling you to shut up already, even as you threaten him, your screams echoing into the void. Then, you wake up, your hands push through sand, groaning, disoriented, wondering where in the world you are now. When you finally wake up from a nap, but your alarm clock is a jump scare. You sit up, still reeling from the shock, as he stands over you, grinning, staff in hand, asking about your sleep. He observes you, then asks the critical question: how does your body feel? You bring a hand to your chest, confused. Something is different. Your body feels new. Clenching your fist, a wave of revelation hits you. Your body is incredibly light as a grain of sand. He feels his muscles coil, tough as wire, mana surging through every fiber of his being. A sudden, incredible power courses through him, leaving him completely baffled. What just happened? He stands tall, empowered, the desert winds swirling around him like a new aura. This isn't just a feeling, it's a transformation. The older man, calm amidst the chaos, reveals the secret. It's all thanks to the sand angler's gallbladder. Zeon's eyes widen, processing this incredible revelation. POV, you just got a legendary drop and didn't even know it. Zeon, wide-eyed and stunned, can barely comprehend. Something so precious, so invaluable, was it truly okay for the older man to just give it to him? He's reeling from the sheer audacity. The older man's patience snaps. He shouts that Zeon was too damn weak. If he's going to be dragged along, he has to at least be a little useful, right? Tough love in the desert. Zeon, now Zeon the useful, accepts his new role with enthusiasm. The older man, however, cuts him off. Shut up and eat. They're not moving until they finish the angler. The older man observes the remains. Turns out, there was far more meat than expected, enough to sustain them for 4 whole days. A lucky break in the desolate sands. With their stomachs full and Zeon powered up, the older man asks if they should set off again, calling him dumbass with a familiar gruffness. Time to hit the road. And Zeon, filled with newfound strength and determination, throws his arms up, letting out an enthusiastic yes. He's ready. He's more than ready to face whatever comes next. But the desert has other plans. The winds pick up, sand begins to swirl violently, and Zeon, cloaked against the elements, realizes they're walking straight into a full-blown sandstorm. The older man's stamina is built different. He's got that no breaks, no complaints energy. The older man just keeps walking, silent for days, his massive sword slung across his back. Zeon wonders if he's just that tough, or perhaps just profoundly annoyed. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of relentless walking, no rest, just sand and silence. Zeon's frustration boils over. Does this guy even know where they're going? He's starting to doubt. Damn it, Zeon yells, convinced the older man is lost, but his outburst is cut short. Behind him, glowing red eyes pierce the sandstorm. a massive insectoid creature has appeared. The desert air shatters as a monstrous creature with glowing red eyes screams, lunging right at you. But before you can even react, the old man cuts through the chaos, his command sharp and clear as the sandstorm swirls. You're utterly exhausted, coughing in the dusty air, wondering how much more of this endless journey you can take. But then, something catches your eye, a sudden shift in the desolate landscape that makes your blood run cold. POV. You just wanted to chill, but the desert decided it was monster-mashing time instead. You realize you've stepped right into it, a massive, glowing web of pure danger. This isn't just a monster, it's a trap. And now, you're completely surrounded, dozens of these creepy crawlies closing in from every direction. No time to panic. You slam your hand down, channeling your earth magic, ready to unleash some serious crushing power. The desert floor cracks and explodes beneath you as your spell rips through the sand, tearing the ground apart. Monsters are blasted into the air, screaming as your earth magic pulverizes them, scattering their bodies like dust. Your eyes glow with fierce determination. You've got this. You tell yourself, Blaster. The sandstorm rages, but something feels off. Where did the old man go? He was just here, right? He really said peace out, fam, and dipped. Betrayed by the old geezer. Your furious shouts echo through the storm, not just to the old man, but to something much closer, much more dangerous. Oh no, a cold dread washes over you. There's no way, but it definitely heard you, didn't it? Zeon's detection zone is active, and he's shocked by what it picks up within 10 meters. Something is close, too fast. Because Zeon never lets his guard down. He's always ready to react, ready to fight any monster that dares to approach him. But this time, in the vast, empty expanse of the desert, something is very, very different. A massive, terrifying energy matrix erupts from the sand. This isn't just a monster, it's a sheer, overwhelming force. And from the depths, a massive swarm of giant black ant monsters bursts forth, charging down into the ravine below. POV. You thought it was just one monster, but it's the whole squad. Time to respawn. Looking back over his shoulder, Zeon screams, trying to pinpoint the attack's origin. He needs help, calling out to the old warrior. But the old warrior remains unfazed, sitting calmly as the chaos unfolds. He just watches, completely safe. Zeon desperately unleashes another earth spell, swinging his arm with all his might. He can't keep this up forever. Then, it hits him. The old warrior knew. This isn't just a fight, it's a quest, a setup. These damn bugs. With glowing eyes and a fierce shout, Zeon declares his resolve. Whether 1,000 or 10,000, bugs are still just bugs. Arc. Thrown through the air, Zeon screams, immediately taking back his defiant words. This is way worse than he thought. Lying on the ground, surrounded, Zeon fumes. How many of these bastards are there, ganging up like cowards? When you're losing but still trying to negotiate terms. Good luck, buddy. Ah shit. Zeon's challenge is met with immediate consequence as a massive insect creature pins him down. The young man, bloodied, realizes this whole place is a giant ant nest. His only option? Escape upwards and reassess the situation. He leaps, confident these creatures can't follow him into the air. But he's wrong. A sudden, unseen force slams into the young man mid-sentence, sending him hurtling through the turbulent, sandy sky. A massive insect-like creature looms, confirming his worst fears as he plummets. The young man's eyes widen in disbelief, a tear or blood drop near his eye. No way, he thinks, this shouldn't be possible. But it is possible, as the massive creature violently strikes him again. His body contorts with the impact, the air knocked from his lungs. Upside down, screaming, the young man's eyes wide with pain. He's taking hit after hit, a brutal barrage that sends him spinning. He lets out a desperate cry, blood streaking his face as he looks up, battered but not broken. This dude's respawn timer just hit 0. Collapsed and bleeding, the young man still looks up, eyes blazing with defiance. Old geezer, he mutters, you'd better be watching. The older man, calm amidst the chaos, sits with his ornate sword, seemingly observing the young man's struggle. The young man grins, a menacing, blood-streaked challenge as his eyes glow. "See how I survive this," he roars, a massive creature looming behind him. The older man acknowledges the young man's defiance, a slight smirk playing on his lips. "That's the attitude, idiot." He reflects on the young man's unique ability, a blessing in this desolate world. "You could have lived a comfortable life," he muses. But for the older man, comfort isn't enough. He scoffs at those who obsess over illusions, oblivious to the world's true nature. Because an awakener's strength is power itself, coveted by all. And if you want to become strong, if you want to survive, if you've managed to survive this far as a weak being, now it's time to survive as an awakener. Let's see if you can make it to the very end in this crazy world. Because there's nothing more damn awful than that. The tragedy of 100 years ago is recorded as a single ray of light that burst forth in an instant. It happened in a flash. The sight of your loved ones being torn apart before your eyes. It's a memory etched deep into your bones. That moment is still vivid even now. That must be the fate of those who survive. Survival means carrying all of this and constantly crossing the boundary between life and death. Right. You can't just fail to defeat a monster like this. Godash, don't you guys feel it too? That you're all screwed. High-pressure compressed sand missile. It's the simplest and most crude. But if I pack it with gravity, wind power, and all the energy I can use, its power multiplies dozens of times over. This is the end for you all. POV, you thought you had the last laugh, but he's just getting started. He's bracing for impact, screaming defiance. But the old man just watches, completely unfazed, almost amused by the young man's outburst, dismissing it with a calm, single thought. The battle's aftermath stretches out, a vast, desolate wasteland. And there, a lone figure stands, dwarfed by the sheer scale of the destruction. But that defiance comes at a cost. His face contorts, blood and tears streaming as he lets out a guttural scream of pure agony and exertion. Still, he looks up, pain etched into every line of his face, and shouts a desperate challenge, pushing through the torment. Because he's not just fighting the old man. A monstrous, insect-like creature, seemingly appearing from nowhere, has him in its grasp, its limbs wrapping tight. He looks down at his hands, now covered in a dark, viscous substance. It's poison, and suddenly, everything makes sense. His mana control has been off. The realization hits him like a gut punch. This poison isn't just weakening him, it's blocking his mana vessels. The pain and fury erupt in an enraged scream. This man just unlocked a new level of pain. Respawn when? Because that scream is just oof. Through the haze of agony, his eye snaps open, a desperate glimmer of determination. Where is he? And what are these damn ants he's fighting now? His worst fears are confirmed. He's been dragged deep underground, surrounded by glowing red eyes. This isn't just a fight. This is the heart of the anthill. Weakened and vulnerable, he lies amidst a sea of large, white, wriggling grubs, their unsettling screeches echoing through the cavern. A close-up reveals their true, horrifying nature. These aren't just creatures, they're larvae, writhing and snapping with tiny, sharp teeth, letting out chilling screeches. One of the grubs clamps onto his hand, its bite leaving angry marks. His body, completely ravaged by the poison, refuses to obey him. And he can only look up, eyes wide with a horrifying realization. He's completely helpless, about to be devoured alive. Your vision blurs, a dark substance flowing. Is this it? Is your desperate struggle finally over? POV, the plot twist hit harder than you thought. Against all odds, you push yourself up, battered but unbroken, a defiant hee-hee escaping your lips. Your face twists into a manic grin, rage burning in your eyes. You refuse to die, not when your life's been so unmemorable. A furious scream rips from your throat. You're too pissed off to die, calling these creatures damn ants as raw power starts to surge. The lines on your arm begin to pulse, a subtle tremor indicating something profound, something new, is awakening within you. Then, a shocking realization hits you like a bolt. Your rank just went up a level. What is happening? Your eyes glow white as you examine your hand. The poison is gone. Your stamina and mana are overflowing, a complete reversal. Glowing lines trace your arm, a visible sign of transformation. Is this it? Have you finally evolved? You just went from 0 to hero in 0.2 seconds. Someone get this man a power fantasy. Even with this new, immense power, your gaze remains intense, focused. The challenge isn't over yet. You turn to face the massive, shadowy monster, and a chilling realization dawns. Not a single scratch on it. Your shock turns to anger. This crazy bastard is smashing through bedrock like it's made of sand. The shadowy monster lunges, its glowing eyes and sharp teeth a terrifying blur. Just how strong is this thing? It's insane. Not even a scratch on this beast. You stare, wide-eyed and frantic, as its madness continues to unfold. You know your current attacks won't even scratch this thing. Your fists clench, a grim realization settling in. This brute isn't going down easy. Looking back at the monstrous shadow, you know brute force isn't the answer. There's only one option left. You need to think, and think fast. POV, you're trying to beat a boss with max defense stats. Time for a new build. And then it hits you. If you can't break it, then you'll just tear it off. That's the key, the only way forward. Your eyes glow, fists clench, and energy flares around you. The monster's armor might be unbreakable, but that won't stop you. With a surge of power, your glowing fists declare your intent. You're going to twist that armor and rip it off completely. The monster snarls, its glowing eyes narrowing as it senses your shift in strategy, bracing for what's about to come. Boom. Your glowing fist connects with explosive force, a burst of light erupting as you land a direct hit, aiming to tear through. But then, a new, agonizing pain hits you. A glowing orb pulses nearby as the monster unleashes a counterattack, catching you off guard. You scream, a searing pain overwhelming your senses. Is it a low-frequency attack, or something far worse, a high-frequency assault tearing at your very being? This is what it feels like when you forget to turn off notifications during a boss fight. Engulfed in the monster's swirling energy, you refuse to yield. This damn bastard is pushing you to the very brink, but you'll fight to the end. Your eye glows with fierce determination, blood or tears streaking your face. It hid something like this from you, a secret power. With pure resolve burning in your glowing eye, you steel yourself. All right, you son of a bitch, let's do this. The energy swirls around you as you push back, locked in a desperate struggle. You're ready to see if you die here today, or if you prevail. The raw power of our hero clashes with the shadowy monster, the air crackling with his desperate struggle as he shouts a final, defiant challenge. Every ounce of strength pours into his scream, his eyes glowing with fierce resolve. He's pushed to his limits, ready to fight until only one remains standing. But the toll is heavy. Exhaustion washes over him, blood staining his face as his body screams in protest, failing him in his moment of need. POV, you just tried to skip the tutorial and got bodied by the first boss. But a familiar face appears. The old geezer leans over, sternly warning our hero against giving up, pulling him from the brink. With a pained smile, our hero looks up at his mentor, calling out to the old geezer even through his injuries. Still defiant, he offers the old geezer the final blow, a cheeky challenge that earns him a booming laugh and aha, what an insolent brat. The old geezer just grins, offering a backhanded compliment that only he could deliver. Well, you're not completely useless at least. He praises the young man's struggle against the C-rank wolf ant queen, a creature far beyond his current strength, declaring he has earned the right to live. Our hero tries to respond, but a new, devastating injury becomes clear. His eardrums are completely ruptured, leaving him unable to hear a thing. The old geezer, now carrying the young man over his shoulder, reacts with a surprised, "Oh ho," to the grim news of his ruptured eardrums. When your ride-or-die friend suddenly takes a detour to a mysterious glowing portal. The old geezer carries him through a desolate, rocky wasteland, heading straight for a strange, glowing circular object on the ground. Our hero's eyes widen in shock and confusion, staring intently at the mysterious, pulsing sphere as they approach. Still injured and bewildered, he looks to the old geezer, demanding to know, "What is this?" The old man reveals a glowing orb, calling it a queen ant's egg and medicine for our hero. And get this, it's strawberry flavor. Our hero's face says it all, pure, unadulterated shock. Eat that. He can't believe what he's hearing or seeing. He stares wide-eyed at the mysterious orb, his mind racing. Is this thing even edible? The old man's words echo, but the reality is unsettling. The old man just casually drops a bombshell. Eating it would probably kill him. But our hero, still reeling, can't quite catch the warning. POV, you're getting bad advice, but ignoring it anyway. Despite the confusion, our hero braces himself. It's medicine, supposedly strawberry flavor. So down it goes. He leans in. Then, a sudden, explosive delight. His eyes widen, sharp teeth flash, and a scream of pure joy erupts. "It's so damn good," he cries. The craving hits instantly. On his hands and knees, our hero looks up, eyes gleaming, already asking for another one of those delicious orbs. But the euphoria quickly twists into something else. His eye widens in distress, a sudden, urgent call for the old man escaping his lips. Horrifying spikes erupt from his body, blood drips, and agony contorts his face. What is this brutal transformation taking over him? This is Huanjiang, the twisting of intestines. The queen ant's egg isn't medicine. It's a lethal poison, tearing through our hero. His organs are twisting, piercing, flipping inside out. This isn't just pain. It's Huanjiang, a torturous death sentence, and he's living it right now. Me after trying a new superfood I found on TikTok. Instant regret. Through the screams, one question cuts through the pain. What did you make me eat? He needs answers, and he needs them now, before it's too late. The old man, completely unfazed, just tells him to calm down. Get used to it, he says, with a shrug. If you want to survive. You see the young man's face contorted, cheeks puffed, as he struggles to hold back whatever horrific thing is happening to him. How can anyone get used to this? But there's no getting used to this. Violent coughs rack his body as jagged red spikes burst from his back, cracking the very ground beneath him. Now, the young man lies motionless, covered in dark spikes, as the older man stands over him. All he can think is, I thought I could finally trust someone. His face, streaked with blood and agony, is a mask of bitter regret. He calls himself a dumbass for trusting the old geezer, suffering for his mistake. From above, his body lies still, completely covered in those dark, cruel spikes. The silence is deafening. POV, you just finished a boss fight, and now it's time to collect your loot. He pulls a glowing object from its head. This isn't just any crystal. It's a monster's mana crystal, on a whole other level. The older man grins, a sinister smile spreading across his face as he holds the large, multifaceted purple crystal. This, he declares, is a jackpot. Standing over the now motionless creature, which he calls an ant guy, the older man decides to take everything from it. With a smug, confident expression, the older man now wields a large, ornate, spiky sword over his shoulder. His goals are achieved. His piercing red eyes gleam with a knowing smirk as he looks out, addressing someone unseen, my friend. The young man, still hunched and in pain, covered in spikes, acknowledges his own fate. If you're weak, you die. It can't be helped. The older man, looking down with that slight smirk, confirms it. You know it too. When you try to wake your friend for a raid, but they're still snoozing. Then, a wide, sinister grin spreads across his face as he delivers a contemptuous, single word, dumbass. A powerful blast of energy kicks up a storm of dust. The older man glares, annoyed, calling out to the unseen source of the chaos. What a disrespectful brat. His irritation shifts to surprise. Raised eyebrows, a slight smirk. He's clearly intrigued by whatever challenge is being thrown his way. Oh, really? Because suddenly, the young man bursts from the dust cloud. Far from defeated, he's striking back with a powerful, dynamic attack, surrounded by swirling energy. The older man's expression tightens. He calls the young man a dumbass, but his surprise hints at respect for this unexpected, serious counterattack. The attack hits. Radiating lines explode around the older man, but his face remains unyielding, focused, absorbing the full force of the blow. But wait, the hooded figure is thrown back. A dark, swirling mass engulfs them as they question, why? Caught in the very force they unleashed. His eyes glow with fury, defiance etched on his face. He reaches out, vowing, "I won't forgive you." He just unlocked a new level of rage. The impact sends the hooded figure flying again. Speed lines and sound effects roar, confirming the sheer, explosive power of this unexpected counterattack. Pain distorts the young man's face, his glowing eyes now filled with confusion. He gasps, struggling to understand. "Why did you try to kill me?" But the older man just sighs, calling him a dumbass. The young man looks utterly surprised, a sweat drop forming as he processes the insult. The older man explains, amidst the debris, that the queen ant's egg messes with your brain. He questions the young man's judgment, wondering if he could think at all. The young man is utterly aghast. His powerful attack, absorbed without a scratch. He can't believe the older man just stood there and took it all. The older man sighs, exasperated, calling him a dumbass again. He scoffs at the idea of poisoning someone so weak, who'd die from a single flick. Glowing purple eyes widen in surprise as the young man processes this brutal logic. He clutches his chest, confused. "I guess so?" The queen ant's egg is revealed, a lethal poison and a purifier. Talk about a toxic relationship with benefits. It's either medicine or instant game over. The older man reveals the queen ant's egg isn't just poison. It purges impurities, leaving space for something new. He asks if you felt it during the attack. And now, you see the result. Your mana has exploded. It's surged 3, maybe 4 times over, crackling around you. Your eyes glow white in pure astonishment. You immediately backtrack, tears welling up as you profusely apologize for doubting the older man. He just stands there, smug, as you realize your mistake. Overcome with emotion, you hoist the older man into a tight, celebratory hug. He's clearly not thrilled, complaining about being hugged by a man, but you can't stop. Tears stream down your face, not from pain, but pure joy. Your hearing is back, and the poison actually had a healing effect. You're just overwhelmed. The older man tries to calm you down, still smiling despite your emotional outburst. He reveals he hasn't even used his own abilities yet. What's next? The older man turns, his expression calm and resolute. He acknowledges a past friend, understanding the gravity of the situation, ready to face whatever comes. POV, you just realized you almost fumbled the whole mission. Time to grind those stats and hope nobody noticed your trashy gamble. You clench your fist tighter, acknowledging the trashy gamble you made. There's regret, yes, but also a fierce determination to never repeat that mistake. But before you can dwell on it, the older man, with a mischievous grin, abruptly slings you over his shoulder. "Time to get going, dumbass," he declares. Confusion and annoyance flash across your face. You just got your strength back. So why is the older man carrying you again? You're not a baby. The older man just grins wider, pointing urgently upwards. "We don't have time," he says. "Shouldn't we hurry up and get out?" A sense of dread begins to creep in. Your eyes widen, sweat beading on your face as a horrifying realization dawns. FCK, don't tell me. You know exactly what's coming. Then, a cataclysmic impact. The ground explodes, sending debris and raw energy radiating outwards. It's an immense force, utterly devastating, and it's right behind you. The older man bursts out laughing, still carrying you at an absolutely insane, bone-rattling speed through the chaos. You scream in protest, demanding to travel normally. The older man quips about weakness, but then his easy smile drops. He's spotted something off, something even he finds surprising. POV, you're already tired of this world's nonsense. The young man just sighs, thinking, what now? But whatever it is, it's enough to shatter his composure. His eyes go wide, sweat beading as a silent "Yach" escapes him. And you can see why. Below, the older man, casually flying, stretches a desolate, alien landscape that seems to go on forever. But it's not just the land. In the distance, a colossal, rock-like creature, its eyes glowing, emerges from the terrain. It's unbelievably massive. The sheer scale is terrifying. Its reptilian face, carved from the earth itself, stares out with an ancient, fearsome glow. The older man identifies it. This isn't just a monster, it's Archilon, a mobile fortress. The young man stares in disbelief. Archilon, a B-rank turtle-type monster, boasts A-rank defenses. And get this, people actually tame, modify, and ride these behemoths. My man just found out monsters are basically public transport now. He's totally losing it. The young man's mind is blown. The world is so much bigger, so much wilder than he ever imagined, with monsters capable of riding a beast like Archilon. The older man lets the weight of his words settle. And here it is, in all its terrifying glory. Archilon, a living mountain against the golden sky. See it clearly with your own two eyes, the older man commands, ensuring the young man truly grasps this new reality. But before they can process it, a brilliant light beam erupts from the ground. The older man recognizes someone, but the young man is caught off guard, told to stay still. With a knowing look in his eye, the older man mutters, "It's been a long time." You see the older man looking up at a vast, ominous sky. He calls out a name, his voice echoing in the silence. POV, you haven't seen your friend in ages and immediately notice they need a dentist. But then the older man, monocle in place, sighs. He's clearly exasperated, wondering how anyone could be this spry. He turns to the young man, his expression serious. The older man wants to know what brings them to his territory. The young man with brown hair, visibly annoyed, explains he's here because of scavengers. He's quick to defend his choices. With a dismissive "Pfui," the older man gives up. He glances up at the massive rock-like creature in the distance, clearly annoyed. The young man with brown hair looks up, eyes wide with a mix of awe and concern. He can barely believe the sight before them. With a brief command, the older man starts moving. You see them both walking away, the massive rock-like creature looming behind them. But the young man can't tear his eyes away. He looks back at the creature, its glowing eye fixated on something unseen. That moment you realize you're definitely out of your depth. Time to activate mute mode. The older man glances over, a curious look on his face. He questions the idea of a subordinate, as if it's a foreign concept. He grins, playfully holding the young man by his hood. "Just picking up some trash," he quips, much to the young man's clear annoyance. Another older man, watching the scene, chuckles. He finds the sight of his companion dragging someone around highly amusing. But the older man's expression turns serious, his eyes obscured. He ominously declares that the world must be coming to an end. As they arrive, the young man is stunned. Before them lies a massive, sunlit canyon with an entire settlement carved into its walls. You're in a bustling cave settlement. An older man with a monocle gestures, identifying the inhabitants. It's the Moat clan. The young man, surprised by the revelation, turns to the monocle-wearing elder, asking, "A clan? You mean they're all blood relatives?" POV, you found the group project members who think they're doing all the work. The elder continues, his words cutting through the smiles. They're descendants of Pavilsa, yes, but in reality, they can't do anything without Archilon. Suddenly, an older man with long white hair and a beard, a Moat clan member, turns, challenging the speaker. "What do you know about our clan to run your mouth like that?" He's furious, shouting his accusations. "I know enough. They're just dead weight who'll be abandoned by Archilon once you die." The older man with the monocle, unfazed, calmly shifts gears. "We can talk about that later. Shall we look at the goods first? Be my guest." With a flick of his wrist, the older man with long white hair and a beard conjures a swirling vortex of dark energy, hinting at the goods to come. And just like that, a chaotic pile of gold, gems, and macabre treasures appears. The young man with brown hair gasps, "Whoa, this is crazy. What is all this?" The young man with brown hair stares, shocked and angry, as the older man with white hair and a beard casually remarks, "You'll be added to the count soon." A chilling promise. He's got that. Where did you even get this energy? Is his inventory just infinite? The older man with the monocle holds up a glowing orb, scoffing. Huh, you don't even know about subspace? To think I've been carrying around such a fucking idiot. The argument escalates. The young man with brown hair demands answers. Would it kill you to just tell me? The older man with the monocle snaps back. You dare talk back to me? Ignoring the outburst, the older man with the monocle thoughtfully examines the tooth-like object. Impressive as always, he muses. Every piece is flawless, top grade. He looks up, cutting to the chase. Enough with the flattery. How much will you give me for it? The negotiation begins. The old man, ever the charmer, tries to defuse the tension with a joke about payment. He looks back at the young man, whose grip on his weapon remains tight. But his smile barely hides a serious demand, a breastplate forged from a wolf ant queen's corpse. This isn't just any request, it's a statement. The old man takes a puff from his pipe, the smoke curling around his hand as he prepares to add another item to his unusual list. POV, you thought the negotiation was over. You challenge him, questioning his need for such specific, powerful items. He already has subspace storage, so why demand more? What's his game? Your confusion deepens as the old man simply states, not for me. So if not for him, then who? The mystery thickens as you ponder his words. And then, the punchline. The old man playfully pulls your hood, revealing the items are for you. He calls you an idiot, a term of endearment, perhaps? You stand there, processing the revelation, your attire a testament to the journey ahead. Every detail matters, especially when preparing for the unknown. The mood shifts. You listen intently, realizing the gravity of the situation ahead. If the scene truly is as described, it will be incredibly difficult. The voice of caution rings out, a stark reminder that you must be incredibly careful. One wrong move could spell disaster. The old man, now fully serious, calls out a new name, Kaylee. His voice echoes through the wooden room, summoning someone important. She heard the call and showed up ready. And there she is, Kaylee. Short brown hair, confident stance, and a tool-laden belt. You notice the unspoken admiration as she addresses the old man as Grandpa. Her grandfather confronts her, asking if she's still unwilling to back down from whatever challenge lies ahead. This isn't just family talk, it's a serious test. Kaylee thoughtfully touches her lips, revealing she's prepared. No bracelet, but a safely tucked away gauntlet with a powerful enchantment. She's ready. The young woman is stunned. That precious gauntlet, to this boy? Her shock is palpable as the command echoes around her, demanding the impossible. The older man just laughs. He's utterly amused to find she's become an enchanter, praising her rare abilities and Pavilsa's granddaughter. He beams, eyes closed in satisfaction. The older man is clearly pleased with her newfound power, a useful ability indeed. Leaning on her, the older man dismisses her, suggesting she go on ahead. But it's not a complete send-off, as he has more instructions. He issues a very specific order: find Noelle and craft a breastplate. Talk about a detailed to-do list. POV, you're trying to walk away but get roped into another quest. Our young man, however, is all smiles, cheerfully agreeing to follow her. And so, our duo sets off, walking through the city streets. The young woman leads, the young man follows, their journey just beginning. Suddenly, she turns. The young woman has a burning question for him. Just what is his relationship with that monster? He looks thoughtful, explaining his chance encounter with the old geezer and how he's just been dragged along ever since. Her eyes widen in absolute horror. By chance. And he's still alive? This casual explanation sends a shiver down her spine. A single tear escapes as a sudden realization dawns on her. She sees it now, clear as day, a shared experience. The young woman understands. She's probably just like her, someone who's faced the same terrifying ordeal. This man just went full beast mode. The older man, glowing red eyes ablaze, rages as a terrified young boy is left to witness his monstrous acts. Back in the present, the young woman taps her temple. She explains it plainly. The other person has PTSD, just like her. Walking away, she glances back with a final, urgent warning. He needs to be careful too. That thing is a monster in human skin. He walks away, acknowledging the warning. He knows the danger ahead all too well. And then, bam, Kaylee's here beaming. She's finally revealing her workshop with an excited, almost manic grin. Kaylee cradles her masterpiece, passionately declaring its brooding majesty. Only a rare few can truly appreciate such enchanted obsidian diamond. Our young man's eyes light up. Hearts float around him as he excitedly wonders if he can truly become the owner of this incredible artifact. He bursts into ecstatic laughter, repeating the condition. If he can draw out its utmost attribute, this beauty is his. He can't believe his luck today. Kaylee, however, is quick to clarify that matching its strict attributes is no easy feat. He really heard, highly rated, and thought he won. Sir, have you read the fine print? Kaylee prepares to hand over the gauntlet, but then a sudden, ominous, but hangs in the air, leaving our young man utterly confused. Uaea. A sudden, violent action erupts. Our young man screams in agony as Kaylee catches him completely off guard. Kaylee has him pinned. She twists his arm, aggressively reminding him that in this world, nothing, especially her handmade grim grip, comes for free. Kaylee laughs maniacally, a truly sinister expression on her face. She gloats, revealing a dark side as she talks about taking something and the fate of a child. Suddenly, Kaylee is screaming in distress, questioning if she should return something she took. Our young man watches, concerned, as her terror grows. Kaylee's face contorts in extreme terror. Sweat drips as she screams. It's them. A feared group has arrived. Our young man is terrified, screaming as he frantically asks, "WHWHO, is them." He's completely lost and afraid. When the whole squad is losing it, but you're just sipping your tea. More drama, please. The old man with the flowing white hair gives a slight smirk, his blue eye glinting as he muses on a persistent, unseen force. Because out in the dusty wilds, a full-blown battle rages. Horsemen clash, and the old man's words confirm. Those are the scavenger bastards. The young woman screams, kicking into action, confirming the threat. Scavengers. And our young man behind her is clearly caught off guard by the sudden chaos. As the dust settles, the young man's concern deepens. He just heard the name, the infamous Black Shark Clan, and you can feel the tension building. The young woman's face twists in fear as she spills the terrifying truth. The Black Shark Clan are D-rank Awakener psychos who kill without hesitation. And the young man's hand clenches. A D-rank Awakener leading such a ruthless crew? That doesn't quite add up, does it? With no time to waste, the young woman and young man bolt, racing towards a grand, ornate door. Urgency hangs heavy in the air. But then, a gut-wrenching scream tears through the air. The young woman cries out, "Grandfather!" Her sheer panic is heartbreaking. The old man sits surprisingly calm, acknowledging the threat. He saw them too, those dangerous figures the young woman is so distressed about. The young woman, desperate, asks if they should move Archilon. A critical question that hints at something precious or vital. But the old man's hands clench, a quiet resolve hardening his stance. There's no running now. It's time to stand and fight. The young woman, ready for battle, immediately starts to rally the combat personnel, but her words are abruptly cut off. As the old man, with a somber look, states firmly, "Not you guys." He has a different plan in mind. The young woman looks utterly shocked, maybe even held back by a large hand. "Huh?" she stutters, clearly confused by this sudden exclusion. When your grandpa calls you a dumbass in front of company. Relatable. Someone just dropped a bomb. You're taking care of this one. You point at yourself, eyes wide. "Wait, me?" "Yep, you punk." The older man yells, pointing, demanding you earn the treasure you got from him. You look distressed. Your face is pure disbelief. "What? A D-rank opponent? How are you supposed to beat that?" Fear starts to creep in. The older man just stares, cigarette in mouth, a stern challenge in his eyes. He asks if you're scared. Under a dramatic, cloudy sky, you walk alone, a lone hooded figure through a vast, desolate sandy landscape. You grit your teeth, hood up, a storm of frustration brewing inside you. Damn it, damn it. You regret falling for such a cheap taunt. The older man's face haunts your thoughts, fueling your distress. You stretch your arms out amidst swirl. POV, you showed up to the wrong fight. That colossal rock creature and its horse-like companions? They're waiting. You stare ahead, eyes narrowed in determination. I need to figure it out before then. How to defeat an Awakener. Your gloved hand clenches, a ring glinting. You look up, facing the challenge. Who's ranked higher than me? Meanwhile, two older men, both with long white hair and beards, stand looking concerned. Zeon, is it really going to be okay? Two hooded figures on a rocky outcrop discuss your situation. What do you mean? Is it okay to leave that kid alone? He's E-rank. He dies if he loses. One of the older men with long white hair replies, "You're as extreme as ever. Even a tiger cub can still be mauled to death by a dog while it's young." He looks thoughtful, gazing downwards. However, if that cub can bear its fangs, the implication hangs heavy in the swirling dust. POV, you're the main character, and the tutorial level just started. Good luck, kid. You stand ready, energy radiating, as that final, cryptic warning echoes in the vast, desolate landscape. Just as you brace yourself, two older men with flowing white hair finally catch up, one practically shouting their arrival. Now, a new group of hooded figures emerges, discussing useful ones to sell off. What kind of grim business are they in? The hooded figure with a bandaged face's red eyes glow, issuing a chilling command. Hack off their limbs, while a masked woman prepares to strike. Their arm glows with ancient power, ready to carve the name of the Black Shark clan into their souls. This isn't just a fight, it's a declaration. Then, a colossal rock creature with glowing white eyes appears. Figures on horseback charge headfirst into what they call festival time. But before the charge can fully connect, the hooded figure with a bandaged face lunges, a blur of motion, diving directly into the fray with explosive force. This hit just activated my fight or flight, and I'm definitely choosing flight. The impact sends dust flying, leaving a small, dog-like creature downed. This hooded figure is not messing around. But then, the hooded figure with a bandaged face, who just unleashed that power, looks up in pure panic, screaming. What could possibly surprise them? Suddenly, the very ground beneath them splits. Sand creatures, and even a hooded figure are falling, disintegrating into the collapsing earth. The hooded figure with a bandaged face and the masked woman stare, wide-eyed. They realize the true horror. The sand didn't just split, it moved. As the chaos mounts, a voice from off-panel shouts, "Captain, are you okay?" The hooded figure with a bandaged face is clearly a leader here. Captain Gawain demands to know if this is a trap, but Clang, the masked woman, insists it isn't. The mystery of the moving sand deepens. The masked woman is violently struck, her body recoiling from an unseen blow. A powerful force just blindsided her. POV, you just found out you're not the main character. Seeing the attack, the enraged hooded figure roars in fury, eyes burning behind their bandages. They won't let this slide. The masked woman is hit again, energy spikes exploding around her. The enraged hooded figure's leg is already moving, ready to leap into action. Their hood is gone, revealing dark hair as the dark-haired fighter clenches their fists, dark energy dripping, resolve hardening. This is personal. As the masked woman lies injured, the dark-haired fighter raises their hands, shadowed and powerful. They're ready for the next opponent. But wait, blood streaks the dark-haired fighter's cheek, their eyes wide with shock or sudden pain. How did this happen so fast? The dark-haired fighter stands, unhooded, a glowing red sword in hand, ready to unleash their power. Now, the dark-haired fighter's eyes glow a fierce red, but a wave of surprise washes over them. What just happened? This opponent just said, "Nah, I'm good," to that attack. Skill issue? No, wait, it wasn't a dodge. The dark-haired fighter realizes the impossible. Their powerful slash was blocked. As the dark-haired fighter is caught mid-air, a warning rings out from Masamoto. Below you. a new threat emerges. The dark-haired fighter, now bandaged, responds with a devastating downward strike, a crimson energy trail blazing behind them. The impact is immense. Red energy explodes, debris flies everywhere, the sheer force shaking the very ground. But the enraged hooded figure, eyes glowing yellow, is still on their feet, furious. They scream about a cheap trick. The bandaged figure stares, eyes wide with confusion. Sand surrounds them, swirling, rising. What is this? Sand? They exclaim, utterly baffled. But confusion turns to fury. The bandaged figure clenches their fist, energy crackling, spitting defiance. You think this pathetic crap is enough to stop me? POV, you just unlocked the Sandbender subclass. But a powerful blow lands. The dark-haired figure connects, a burst of white energy erupting as the hooded, bandaged opponent takes the full impact. Yet, the hooded figure stands amidst the swirling sand, glowing symbols emanating from their back, a silent testament to their resilience, or a power stirring. With glowing white eyes and blood splattered across their face, the dark-haired hooded figure listens intently as an urgent warning rings out. "WH, what is it?" they ask, surprised, looking up, hanging on every word. The voice continues, explaining you're probably more worried about killing a human than facing a D-rank opponent. But the older man with the sword shouts emphatically, a stark revelation. Those bastards aren't human. They're not human. The dark-haired hooded figure questions, looking up at the distant figure, grappling with the weight of that statement. Sounds like someone's got beef with humanity. They take pride in their atrocities, butchering children, violating women. Over 200 victims. Do you think bastards like that can be human? The character with dark hair and glasses demands, sword ready, dark energy swirling around them, poised to strike. The bandaged figure erupts in a storm of red energy and pure rage, fists clenched, screaming, "You damn son of a bitch!" Projectiles and energy blasts rain down, but the bandaged figure stands firm, deflecting the onslaught, a bright light erupting around them as debris flies. You're calling out their cheap tricks, challenging their ability to win. This isn't just a fight, it's a brutal exchange of accusations, and you're not holding back. The hooded figure fires back, promising a slow, agonizing end. This isn't just trash talk, it's a chilling vow of revenge, a promise to make you suffer. And you escalate, promising a fate worse than death, dragging their loved ones into the horror. The line between hero and villain blurs as the threats intensify. POV, you're trying to have a dramatic villain monologue, and someone just walked in like, "Hey, what's up?" The trenchcoat character, sword ready, gives them one last chance to speak. The air is thick with anticipation as the confrontation boils over. But it's not the hooded figure who speaks. An older man, with a menacing grin, interjects with a dismissive insult, calling you piece of trash. The hooded figure reacts with disbelief, almost a laugh, at being called trash. How dare this newcomer disrespect them in front of everyone? But the defiance quickly turns to fury as they utter a single, potent word. Clay. What does it mean in this escalating showdown? The scene shifts to a tragic sight. Masamoto, defeated, perhaps even dead. A somber reminder of the brutal stakes in this world. A voice acknowledges Masamoto and another, asserting they were too strong to fall to a mere amateur. The true threat becomes chillingly clear. The hooded figure transforms, glowing eyes and swirling energy revealing immense power. The question hangs in the air, just what I asked this guy? He's got that main character making a dramatic entrance, energy. Sand swirling like a personal special effect. A massive sand dragon erupts, engulfing the battlefield. You're caught in a whirlwind of elemental power, questioning the very nature of this ability. You refuse to be intimidated. Red energy flares around you, a clear declaration. No more games, no more tricks. You're ready to fight back. But the hooded figure challenges you now, daring you to reveal your own hidden power. The true battle is about to begin in the sand. The character with dark hair and glasses isn't backing down, pushing their opponent to reveal their true power. The hooded figure, eyes blazing red, demands a direct confrontation, radiating an aura of raw, untamed power. That energy explodes outwards, engulfing the hooded figure in a maelstrom of destructive force. Ready for anything, the hooded figure challenges their foe. What's next? But then, just like that, their opponent vanishes. Dude just hit the quick teleport button. Where dash? The hooded figure barely has time to react as something streaks past their face. A sudden, powerful strike that catches them off guard, sending debris flying. The character with dark hair and glasses reels, a dawning horror on their face. This wasn't just an attack, it was a trap. The hooded figure reveals their cunning strategy. Their opponent has finally stepped right into their lethal range. I was lured in. The character with dark hair and glasses cries out, pain and shock contorting their face. The force of the blow sends them stumbling backward, a brutal impact shaking their very core. They can't believe a non-martial type could close the distance so easily, cursing their opponent's unexpected skill and ferocity. The hooded figure delivers a chilling warning. One mistake means death. Yikes, this ain't no respawn point. To think it was a trick. The character with dark hair and glasses screams, clutching at their chest as the realization dawns. With vengeful eyes, the hooded figure vows to make them pay, dedicating each blow to Mashimoto. A brutal red energy blast slams into our hero, sending him flying backward through the air with a devastating impact. The hooded figure unleashes this fury, eyes glowing crimson as they scream out names, fueling the attack with a vengeful roar. And the force of it overwhelms our hero, who screams in pure agony as the devastating energy consumes him. The hooded figure, confident in victory, declares that whatever our hero's power, it means absolutely nothing now that he's been caught. With a hand gripping tight, the hooded figure curses his opponent's weakness, delivering a chilling, final death threat. POV, you thought you had him, but he pulled a classic, I'm not here move. Because our hero's legs are being pulled into a swirling vortex of sand, a desperate, unexpected escape attempt. The hooded figure reels back in shock, realizing his opponent just used a clever trick, discarding his gauntlet to escape. And just like that, our hero vanishes, a trail of energy marking his rapid escape, leaving the hooded figure to shout in fury. The hooded figure fumes, reflecting on a past blunder. He let him go because he panicked once before. Now, bloodied and grimacing, the hooded figure curses his own foolishness. What a blunder indeed. But there's more. Clenching a fist, the hooded figure acknowledges a new wound, a wound that could impact their power. Observing our hero's attack, the hooded figure notices a significant decrease in power and deduces the gauntlet was amplifying it. This dude thinks he's got the cheat codes now. Get ready for the next patch. With newfound confidence, the hooded figure pursues our hero relentlessly. Without his gauntlet, the chase is on, and the odds are now stacked. The hooded figure's hand glows with red energy, asserting that their opponent, the character with dark hair and glasses, is powerless without their gauntlet. They mock the character with dark hair and glasses, dismissing their chances in close combat. But our hero looks defiant, swirling energy hinting at a hidden strength. Suddenly, dark, sharp energy streaks pierce the hooded figure's back and shoulder. Blood splatters as their confident smirk turns to a grimace of pure shock and pain. The hooded figure's single visible eye widens in confusion. They can't believe it. The attacker specifically aimed for their back, a move they didn't anticipate. And there they are. The character with spiky hair, a sinister smile spreading across their face, glowing white eyes fixed on their target. They've been waiting for this moment. The hooded figure clenches their fists, chest bleeding, rage boiling over. They accuse the attacker of using the exact same trick again, furious at their own oversight. But then, a sudden, chilling realization washes over the hooded figure. Their red pupil contracts in disbelief. The attacker shouldn't have their gauntlet, right? POV, you realize you left your most important item at home. No amplifying item, no gauntlet, it just doesn't make sense. Their mind races, convinced this level of power is simply impossible without assistance. The sharp, spiky sand formations overwhelm the hooded figure, and a terrifying thought begins to form. This guy is Don't Tell Me. No, it can't be. The hooded figure's bandaged face twists in horror as they realize the truth. This is a power that manipulates sand itself. And not just sand, but a power so vast, it feels like it controls the very world around them, pressing in from all sides. Sand claws grasp at their head, and their eyes widen in pure terror. Could such an overwhelming, world-shaking power actually exist? There's no escape. Multiple sand-formed hands grasp at the hooded figure's head and face, trapping them completely as terror consumes their every thought. This man just got sent to the sand realm. Good luck respawning. The old man's eyes widen, monocle glinting. He's just grasped the terrifying truth. If the enemy controls sand, the entire world becomes their weapon and shield. Even with his own eyes, he can barely believe the young man's skill, especially against Gawain, a seasoned scavenger with years of combat experience. Facing Gawain head-on would have been fatal. The young man knew it, exploiting the irregular nature of his ability instead, a clever tactic. A patient game, lulling his opponent into carelessness, waiting for that perfect, critical opening to strike. This isn't just strategy, it's instinctive judgment, the kind of battlefield awareness that usually takes years of brutal experience to grasp. And the young man is doing it all in the chaotic, brutal heart of battle. Look at the determination in his blood-streaked eyes. The old man looks down, admitting his mistake. He thought he saw a mere tiger cub, but now he knows he was wrong. POV. You thought you were the main character, but this kid just pulled a fast one. He looks up, questioning Daoden. Where on earth did you find a monster like that? The young man, blood dripping from his eyes, reflects on how close he came. One wrong move, and he would have been a goner. Still, a thought cuts through the pain. Surely the old geezer will at least praise him for pulling off such a feat, right? But before he can even think about praise, the young man is engulfed in a powerful impact, thrown amidst debris and raw energy. Suddenly, a booming voice echoes from above, cutting through the dust. You half-wit. It's the old man, staff in hand, glaring down with an angry, scolding expression. You're trying to return after doing such a shoddy job? The young man, blood still streaking from his eyes, looks up, utterly shocked and pained. Wait, old geezer. At least give me a reason. POV. You thought you were done, but the side quest just started. You stand, sword in hand, as the harsh truth hits. The one you spared was already plotting your downfall, and you didn't even notice. And now, the very ground beneath you explodes in a burst of dark energy. Did you truly not expect a situation like this to happen? You turn, speechless, the words catching in your throat as the weight of the accusation settles in. The old man's gaze pierces you, a stern disappointment in his eyes. How long will you remain so complacent? With a definitive command, go back, the old man turns, walking away, leaving you to face the consequences alone. His face etched with a mix of regret and resolve, the old man delivers a chilling prophecy. With your current mindset, you'll be dead before long. The young woman listens, her blue eyes wide with concern, taking in the old man's harsh words. He's just grateful he didn't have to solo the boss. Teamwork makes the dream work. The old man, now calmer, explains that the residents of Archelon are all non-combatants. He continues, revealing the Moat clan's true nature. They are blacksmiths, not fighters. Their only weapons are their tools. Turning to you, the old man and young woman express profound gratitude, knowing countless lives would have been lost without your intervention. The old man, a gentle appreciation in his eyes, sincerely thanks you, praising your great work. Then, the young woman enthusiastically embraces you from behind, beaming. You were so cool, taking on the Black Shark squad all by yourself. She turns, serious now, telling you not to let that monster of an old geezer get to you. His standards have always been ridiculously high. The young man reflects, acknowledging his past fear. He knew Mashimoto would return for revenge. But even knowing the danger, you just couldn't finish the job. POV, you hoped the problem would just bury itself. You hoped Mashimoto would just disappear, even though you knew his true, evil nature. Your clenched fist tells the story of that internal struggle. Because despite resolving that your enemies deserve death, you just couldn't face it head-on, looking at the ominous red eye of what's to come. Now, you lie vulnerable, overshadowed by a monstrous hand, a small, white-haired figure by your side, as the weight of your past choices looms. Daoden reflects on your cowardly reason, agreeing with someone else's assessment. He sees the struggle, and you realize Daoden has likely seen countless people like you, facing similar dilemmas on this desolate path. He's watched them die countless times. So, you realize his tough words were his way of looking out, hoping you wouldn't get yourself killed. You smile, acknowledging that Daoden is just terrible at showing he cares, but the intent is there underneath it all. The young woman is shocked. She's never heard anyone talk about Daoden like that. It's like watching your friend roast you, but it's actually just love. Daoden, bewildered, wonders if you've hit your head, clearly not used to such affectionate interpretations of his gruffness. You continue to reflect on how much your hesitation in that life-or-death fight must have weighed on Daoden, especially at his age. The young woman playfully pulls your cheeks, asking how she should fix your current state, clearly amused by your internal monologue. Daoden expresses regret for your suffering, caused by foolish adults, and then softens, inviting you in for a meal and a much-needed bath. And from the sand, Mashimoto, the figure you couldn't finish off, responds with a crisp, "Yes, sir." Still buried, but very much alive. Daoden is engrossed in his book, a picture of calm wisdom, unaware, or perhaps just ignoring, someone else in the room. But his peace is shattered as Daoden snaps, calling out the young man hiding in the corner. He's not holding back, taunting him about leaving. POV, your grandpa just went full savage mode. But he's not backing down. The young man stands firm, declaring he won't be broken by mere words, no matter how sharp they are. Despite his brave words, a flicker of worry crosses his face. He tries to brush it off, but something isn't quite right. Daoden's keen eye catches it. The young man's hands are trembling, hidden within his cloak. His body tells a different story. Daoden isn't surprised. He knows this fear is only natural. It would be stranger if he felt nothing at all. He advises the young man not to forget this feeling, not to become numb to the weight of his actions. The young man listens intently as Daoden continues, warning him about the dangers of losing that vital sense of guilt. Because if he does, he'll become no better than the very scum he fought to defeat. It's a harsh truth. My therapist says this is growth. Daoden challenges him again, offering an escape. Can he endure this path, or will he back down now? With glowing eyes and clenched fists, the young man's grin is fierce. There's no turning back now. He declares he won't be broken. He's not just staying, he's taking charge. He'll take care of himself, and besides, who would look after such a stubborn old man? With a playful taunt and a glowing fist, he declares his true mission, making sure Daoden doesn't die a lonely death. Daoden, ever the provocateur, playfully calls you out. He knows you secretly enjoy his company, no matter how much you deny it. But your teasing about cleaning up his corpse pushes him too far. Daoden's fist clenches, a clear warning. And a loud "Aya" erupts, sending green liquid splashing from his cup. Some things you just don't joke about. POV, you're witnessing peak collaborative effort. That weapon is going to be legendary. Every strike is precise, every detail intricate. The sheer intensity of the work makes the air crackle with raw power and flying sparks. The woman, wide-eyed, gasps at the unprecedented gathering. Daoden echoes her awe. This many master smiths in one place is unheard of. Daoden explains they're trying to calm his sword, a process that's already taken days. You can feel the sheer power emanating from it. The woman's shock is palpable. How can a single sword possess such an overwhelming, unrestrained amount of power? It defies belief. Daoden reveals its name, Cryan, a masterpiece born from one man's obsession, he says, hinting at a deeper, untold story. The blacksmith describes it. Countless enchantments, impossible to modify further, containing the cores and souls of millions of monsters. When your sword has more personality than you do, it's giving main character energy. The woman pieces it together. The sword and its creator share the name Cryan. Who was this person capable of such a feat? Daoden tells them to simply accept it as a masterpiece worthy of its name, a work beyond normal understanding, and move on. He starts to speak of the artisan, but then catches himself, perhaps realizing he's said enough for now. The woman looks surprised as Daoden prepares to leave. You hear talk of Zeon departing, but it seems Daoden's plans are already set. Because Daoden isn't one to stay put, his bags are likely packed before you even realize he's going. A shame, but that's just his nature. But then the scene shifts. You're in a grand room, and the man with a beard demands to know what nonsense Daoden is up to now. Daoden calmly states education, but the man with a beard isn't having it. He dismisses it as rubbish, clearly unimpressed by the explanation. POV, you thought it was a chill day, but then the elves showed up. And one of the elves, with wide purple eyes, confirms it. Yes, it's elves, and they look ready for anything, or perhaps ready to flee. Now you see them running across a barren landscape, one elf pointing towards a distant structure, and then you hear it. Look, it's a human. The man with dark hair reacts in shock. Monster bait, he thinks, sweating. They want to use him to distract something. So much for noble elves. He clutches his head, frustration boiling over. Ugh, Kaylee is way better, he thinks, realizing the elves are already closing in on his position. An elf orders the man, "Get off the rock, human." You see a giant foot in the foreground, confirming something monstrous is approaching. The elves are readying their bows, an angry snarl on one's face. The order rings out, "Get down there and lure the monster away." An elf, fangs bared, aims an arrow directly at you. The command is sharp, urgent, right now. There's no time for hesitation. They're clearly not playing hide and seek, more like hide and get eaten. But the man, still confused, tries to reason with them. "You guys are faster," he starts, "so why are you telling us to?" His question cuts off abruptly as a wave of pure shock and fear washes over his face. What did he just realize, or what did he just see? At first, you thought some unseen monster had suddenly appeared. But it's not just you. Even the elf-like characters around you are feeling the same overwhelming pressure. But then it hits you. This pressure, it's different. Despite facing countless monsters and powerful Awakener figures, this feeling, this pure terror, is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. It's a primal survival instinct, pure terror taking hold, forcing you to find the source. And so, you instinctively try to find the source of this overwhelming dread, your eyes darting around. POV, you're trying to find the monster, but the real one was the friend you made along the way. Why did you look at your companion right next to you, instead of the armed demi-humans or the approaching monster? The realization dawns on you. Struggling is meaningless. It didn't take long to figure it all out. Even the elf-like characters can barely comprehend what's happening, their faces contorted in utter disbelief and terror. The powerful shadowy figure's gaze is chilling, and you can only think, how could something like this possibly exist? One of the elf-like characters tries to snap out of the paralyzing fear, yelling desperately to break the spell. They're screaming, "This is just a human," but their faces say, "He just activated his ultimate skill." And then you see it, an elf-like character kneeling in front of you, utterly defeated, utterly terrified. An elf-like warrior aims a glowing arrow, their resolve etched on their face. They declare, "We have to kill him. A human like this shouldn't exist." A man with dark, messy hair screams, his face contorted in terror and disbelief. "Are you crazy?" he yells. Vertical speed lines blur the panel as a desperate cry echoes. "Old geezer. Something fast and devastating is happening right now." That old geezer stands tall, a shadowy figure with long, dark hair, radiating immense power. A bright light descends upon him from above. Cloaked and with long white hair, the powerful man raises a glowing weapon high. Energy pulses around him, ready for a devastating strike. His eyes glow red with fury as the white-haired man commands his allies. Get up. Sobalon. Naalka. The fight is far from over. POV. You showed up to the wrong fight. Now you're just screaming for your friends to catch up. Knocked down and pained, the elf stares up, glowing eyes wide with disbelief. So, how did you survive? They demand. The Awakener, a tall, shadowy figure, stands over fallen elves, one held by the neck. I thought I killed all of you decades ago. Where were you hiding? Another elf, bow in hand, screams defiance. Shut your mouth, human. Let go of Johora right now. They won't back down. The Awakener's hand grips Johora's neck, face contorted in pain and fear. How dare a mere human lay a hand on an elf? Tears stream down the white-haired man's face, his expression pained. I'll ask you one more time. How did all of you manage to survive? The elves look on, shocked and scared, bows ready. The white-haired man's voice cuts through the tension. Answer me. Who did you kill this time? His eyes glow red as the white-haired man screams, rage consuming him. To stay alive, the fury is palpable. Someone just unlocked a new level of, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, but with more blood. The elf-like characters reel back, disbelief etched on their faces, questioning a choice that mentions Johora instead of humans. An ominous presence looms, cloaked in shadow, as the stormy sky darkens, hinting at the power behind the mysterious decision. Suddenly, a devastating red energy beam rips through the air, tearing into the ground with catastrophic force, causing a massive explosion. The elf-like characters are caught in the blast, flung helplessly through the air as a chilling declaration about human lives echoes. Amidst the chaos, the old man with white hair unleashes a furious roar, his eyes glowing red with accusations about the world's state. His voice cracks with raw fury, blaming others for the world's destruction and their stubborn refusal to mend their ways. The young man with dark hair and a dark cloak watches, confusion and concern clouding his face as he tries to understand the old man's words. POV. You just found out your entire history class was a lie because of demi-humans. More elf-like characters are thrown into the fiery vortex, screaming a name, Solcaris, the monster they've been fleeing all this time. A chilling command rings out as the monstrous figure, wreathed in red energy, fully emerges from the vortex, ready to fight. Its glowing red eyes pierce through the chaos, an ominous presence that leaves onlookers questioning everything about this new threat. The young man with dark hair is overwhelmed by conflicting commands and the elf's frantic words, his face etched with distress and confusion. An elf-like character screams, caught in the crossfire, as the ominous plan to corner the human who killed Johora takes shape. A glowing eye reflects the chaos, its owner questioning the true motives behind cornering the human and the world's fate. Another elf-like character falls, tragically split in half, a brutal testament to the unchecked destruction tearing this world apart. A devastating battle has just ended, leaving a wasteland of red energy and debris. The cloaked figure stands victorious, a monstrous shadow looming behind them. Amidst the chaos, the elf-like character, white hair flying, desperately calls out a name, Sobalon, hoping for an answer from the devastation. But before they can finish, a hand clamps around the elf-like character's throat. Their eyes widen in fear as the words catch, choked and silenced. The captor's voice is cold, demanding answers. Your village is nearby, isn't it? They press, eyes fixed on the terrified elf-like character. The elf-like character struggles, trying to speak, tears welling in their wide eyes. The grip tightens, demanding a response. Elsewhere, the cloaked figure strikes down with a glowing red energy blade, tearing through the ground with devastating force. A pale hand reaches towards a pool of fresh blood, a grim testament to the battle's toll, next to a fallen figure. The elf-like character screams, recoiling in pure terror, surrounded by the remnants of destruction, unable to escape. The young man with dark hair shouts, Old geezer, wait a minute, his voice filled with desperation, but the older man keeps moving. But the older man doesn't wait. He strikes, a burst of energy sending the young man reeling from the powerful blow. The older man stands over the fallen youth, a cruel smirk on his face. "You're trembling," he sneers, mocking his weakness. He turns his menacing grin to the elf-like character, demanding the location of their village. Why would a human want to know? A dark, shadowy figure looms over them, its form outlined in an ominous red glow, a terrifying presence. The only thing clear in the darkness are two piercing, glowing red eyes, staring right through the elf-like character. The elf-like character's face is a mask of pure terror, sweat dripping, eyes wide with unspeakable fear. The old man grins, thanking someone, but his smile is anything but kind. You can feel the menace in his eyes. As the elf-like figure on the ground pleads for their life, admitting their mistakes, their desperate cries echo in the silence. But the old man, now a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, only crouches lower, preparing to strike. The elf's pleas continue. Then, with a terrifying swing, the old man unleashes a devastating attack. The sheer force of it rips through the air. And the elf, battered but alive, cries out in terror. He's heading to the village. But then, a chilling, hysterical laugh escapes the elf. Amidst the tears, a twisted relief washes over him. He survived. Meanwhile, amidst the dust and rubble, the young man sits, injured and disoriented. He's alive, but barely. And as he struggles to stand, the young man curses the old geezer. His chestplate saved him from shattered ribs. But wait, this isn't just the young man. A monstrous, shadowy form with glowing red eyes emerges, speaking to the old geezer. And a gloved hand on the ground questions the sheer brutality. Why go this far? What is the old man trying to achieve? The young man surveys the desolate, storm-ravaged landscape. He stands alone, a tiny figure against overwhelming destruction. His face hardens, gritting his teeth in fury. Sweat beads on his brow as he demands, "Where are you?" And suddenly, he's face to face with the old man. The villain thought he'd wiped out the young man's kind decades ago. The struggle is intense, leaving dark, viscous splatters on the ground. The young man's fury is palpable.